Hello and welcome back to the Game Bet Match podcast. I'm your host, Manny Friedman, along with my co-host, Brad Sloan.
Yeah, guys, sorry about that. I'm a little under the weather today, so you're not going to see me on the camera. You won't see my beautiful face, but you will. Yeah, you still need to see me with my head cold. But I'm here. I'm alive. I'm okay. I'm sure I'll be back on camera next time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was assuming that you wouldn't show your face because, like, you lost all your bets, but that's not the case, I'm guessing.
Today was, it's been okay. It's been better than Clay. Clay was terrible, and I really shouldn't have shown my face at all during Clay season. But
Okay.
that's been a little bit better. I hit
Okay.
the Zhang money line. I hit the Zhang bet today. That was really the only thing I
True.
hit. But
That's
that
true.
hitting one plus 350 cure. I mean, didn't cure my ills, but like it makes a lot of ills not as bad.
Right. Right. I mean, there were some painful losses where you probably shouldn't have shown your face. Me too, by the way. I've shown my face on every podcast. I think I'm gonna pull one of these even when I'm not sick, and I just lose some painful bets. All right. Well, let's just go over a rundown of the pod. We thank some people for their feedback on our pod and what we can improve on. We do pride ourselves on doing the long form. It kind of separates ourselves. Well, not really separates ourselves, but like it differentiates us from the other pods who kind of go over the picks more succinctly and give their rationales. But we like that discussion based. So that's kind of the reason why these pods are like 2.5, 3 hours. Even when we don't intend on it, it's just like we just can't help ourselves. So we appreciate you bearing with us on that, and we will definitely do a better job of posting some timestamps so you can kind of pick and choose what you want to listen to. So we'll definitely do a better job of that going forward. As far as this pod goes, we will kind of recap a great end of the week for us, for both of us, actually, in Halle and
Better,
London.
but it wasn't bad. Could have been better, but it wasn't terrible.
Wasn't terrible. I think we did hit some long shot bets, and I think
Yeah.
we did well there. And then we will kind of go over our picks in Eastbourne and Mallorca this week. We will kind of preview the whatever matches are to come tomorrow. And then we will briefly touch on Wimbledon qualies. I mean, we're definitely not as in tune with the lower ranked guys as say like a Tidbits Tennis, for example, who's just like an animal when it comes to
Yeah, there's definitely some
lower
good
ranked
sources
guys.
on there's definitely some good sources out there on Twitter for challenger players. We're probably not, we know a little bit at that level, but we're probably not the best guys there. So we'll probably uh lay off for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then towards the end, we'll kind of do a recap. That was another thing. I think it would be good to have a kind of a summary segment where we just recap our picks and like what we talked about kind of succinctly. And hopefully we have a play of the day, which hasn't been the best this week. I mean, it was pretty good at the end of last week, but I think we're down again like 4 units or something like that in that vicinity.
Yeah,
So
man, it's gotta turn around at
I
some
know we
point.
got to get back in the green at least.
Yeah, I know, man. It's been brutal.
It's been
Um,
tough.
I
So
gotta say, so a couple of housekeeping things. We hosted a Twitter Spaces over the weekend.
Yep.
Had I think Manny said we had about 20 unique listeners.
20 listeners. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, pretty. I think we had a lot of fun, a lot of good discussion around the tennis. I think we'll advertise and look to do that more often. I don't know if we have a set schedule yet, but I mean, you can probably. I mean, Manny and I both have full-time jobs, so you can guess it'll be mostly weekend mornings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there'll be that. Um, I'm also excited to see that while our last pod only got 15 views, our related Google now has our related I don't know what you want to call it, our related um like videos as
Huh?
sports videos.
Oh,
Which
really? Okay.
like we're now related to things like the Bet Rivers podcast or
Very interesting. Okay.
yeah, as opposed
Didn't
to
notice
rain.
that.
Before we're related to rain, and I was kind of sad. But now we're related to like the. I think we're related to like some sports videos, and then the number one related one that came up was the game the other game bet match pod, the Bet Rivers
The
one,
Bet Rivers guys who are
which
excellent.
they're excellent. They're, I mean, admittedly, when it comes to probably pure like quick 5 minute pods, like what they were not 5 minutes, but they're when it comes to what they do, they're definitely a really good source. I'll say that.
Yep, and they also go to the venue. Like they actually attend the tournaments, right? So they
Yeah,
get
Sean Calvert has a lot of really good inside info. If people want to look him up,
he
really really
does
good,
really
really good.
good, and I think they're excellent at picking futures prices and kind of knowing who's um like motivated that week, etc. And like I backed them on the fees pick in Lyon, and that was extremely successful. So definitely check them out. We're definitely going to promote all the good stuff out there because there's a lot of bad as well. So just be aware, in gambling, that's what you get. There's good stuff, but there's also a ton of bad stuff, and you got to make sure you get the good stuff. So and as far as the Twitter Spaces, I just want to thank Kumat Mibro and John for Tidbits Tennis who attended, and we had some great conversation. So we'll definitely do that again for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's get into the tennis. What were your kind of takeaways from the end of last week in Halle and Queens?
I mean, we could start with Halle.
Mhm.
Bublik won a tournament. I
I
love
know.
seeing Bublik win. Like he's just like a fun guy to root for. Like, is he? Is he the best player on tour? Not most of the time, but he kind of randomly shows up for weeks, and last week was one of the weeks where he decided to play. So
The man is exceptionally talented. I mean, it's really a shame that he's a clown because like he should really be top 20 if he dedicated himself.
he could easily be top 20, easily. But it's
Mhm.
yeah.
And I
Yeah, I mean,
think
there's nothing else to say there. He could easily be top 20 if he.
easily. And one shot, like one thing, my takeaway from him last week is how well he returned and how many break chances and break points he generated. And I thought he did a great job of like using like a chip forehand return to kind of set up a point and then like be willing to rally and then just kind of exploit his opponent with some superior shot making at the end. And I thought he did a fantastic job of that like the entire week.
Yeah, that plays a little bit better on the grass, right? Like
It does.
you can, especially that like the chips work better on the grass. The and like you don't have like the 10, 15 ball rallies he's just not going to do.
Right.
Like like a Bublik rally is like 5 to 7 strokes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean,
So one bet I was extremely successful with Bublik last week is to play no tiebreakers in the match because like the book thinks, oh, Bublik is a big server, right? And he's playing guys like Jan Leonard Struve, he's playing guys like Zverev, who also have big serves, right? So the inclination is that people think there are going to be tie breaks, but that's actually not the case.
yeah,
Especially
Bublik doesn't play. Bublik is I think it's an interesting thing because like I don't think with Bublik it's like a lack of foot speed or not foot speed, but like a lack of like quickness or like he's able to return. Like I think the problem is he just doesn't want to rally or play any defense,
right.
and like it's really hard to break on most surfaces if you don't want to do that. On grass, it's a little more possible.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't think
yeah,
like I
I
think
think that
rallying and playing long sets go hand in hand. Like I don't think he likes playing 7-6 sets and like grinding out service holes and this kind of stuff. Like he doesn't like that, you know. Uh,
no.
and we were getting consistently like plus 140s, plus 160s for no tie breaks. Like I thought it was a no brainer as a hit, and I'm going to continue doing it at Wimbledon. And you probably get better odds because it's 5 sets.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that general take. I think we had a lot of success with that, and then, yeah. We had a
Yeah.
lot of success in the semi betting him. We both bet him and the under 26.5
That was
games,
fantastic. Plus
which is like,
450.
yeah, which is pretty nice. Pretty
That
nice little
was
450 hit.
fantastic. Yep.
Um, yeah.
So one bet I hit in the Rublev the Rublev Bublik match in the final was both guys to have break point in the first game at 16-1.
And did that actually hit?
That hit, that cashed.
That's amazing.
That
That's
was
amazing.
incredible. So that was I wasn't up for the beginning of the match, and then I woke up, and that was a very, very nice surprise, I have to say, on that Sunday morning. That was
nice.
cool.
That is nice. Yeah, I didn't see any of the final. I was out playing tennis, and literally by the time I got done, this match was over, and Alcaraz was at 5-4, 40-30.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, he's basically done.
Right.
Otherwise, I mean, going back to I mean, I don't think there's really much of anything else interesting. Like
Oh, and
Agut
Halle?
Medvedev, I thought like it was a good run for RBA to make the semis. He got beat pretty good by Rublev. I thought Rublev played pretty well. Agut wasn't great. Like I think the RBA win over Medvedev's a little underrated. I think it's more Medvedev just like his game just doesn't, his style just doesn't suit grass.
Because he's not aggressive. And I really think that hurts him, you know?
Yeah.
Especially on grass. Like when you can't really take initiative of a point and you're not willing to really come in and put pressure on an opponent, it's really tough. And he doesn't have like a great backhand slice either, right? He uses that kind of like that push backhand, right? So it's really hard for him to like make progression. And he doesn't
Yeah.
move quite as well on the grass as the hard court. So when the other guy puts pressure on him, and like what RBA does is like he uses his forehand in terms of placement, right? So it's like a placement attacking game. And I think that troubles Medvedev actually more than the power.
It's really funny because like you watch RBA and like this has been the case with RBA for 10 years. So like this isn't a new take, but like you watch RBA and if you haven't watched him before, you're like, man, how does this guy hitting the lines every time?
Mm-hmm.
And like you watch like 3 matches and you're like, no, this is this guy's made his career off of.
That's what he practices. He knows he can't hit the ball
Aggression with accuracy, right? But it's like aggression with accuracy. Like you think of aggression as power,
no,
and like accuracy as defense, but for RBA, it's really like accuracy as aggression.
and that's why he has a 5-4 head-to-head against Medvedev, because I think Medvedev actually prefers redirecting pace more so than placement.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before, right? Like trying to like push Medvedev back doesn't really help you as much. It does a little bit if you in volley. If you can come in volley, it can help you because it's harder to pass from back there.
Right.
But I think what is harder for Medvedev, I mean, we've seen Kachanov actually do it a little bit as well. But is if you like, and you actually, I think Novak's done it really well against Medvedev. Is making Medvedev go to like those short angles and kind of end up like somewhere between the baseline and the service line, but like out wide in the doubles alley, and he kind of gets stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it's hard to play defense from that position on the court. Right? Like if you're inside the baseline and outside the doubles alley, like it's hard to play defense from there because like, okay, like you if you get the ball back in, like you have a long way to run to cover the open court. You have to leave the space open behind you. If you go up the line, that's always risky as the high part of the net. Like it just puts you in like a really weird spot.
Well, honestly speaking,
I don't think he loves being like in between the baseline and the service line.
He doesn't. I mean, the only time I've really seen Medvedev overpowered is Alcaraz at Indian Wells. And that was not really overpowering. It was more that Alcaraz implemented the drop shot so brilliantly.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That was my point there. It's I don't think that's just pure power. That's a lot. That's a lot there. That's like the fact that Alcaraz just has like when Alcaraz is at his best and doing Alcaraz things, he just has like the combination of power, spin, drop shot, like he can move you off the court. Like his weapons are just so good.
Right. Well, I think that's a good transition to Alcaraz winning Queens.
Was there anything else to talk about here in Halle?
Decent run for Rublev. I think
I was disappointed. I had a 9-1 futures on Rublev outright that lost in the final, so that was sad.
I thought it was better. I thought it was 16-1, but it's I guess it was 9-1. Okay.
Yeah.
Not as quite as painful, but yeah
painful.
Yeah, it sucks. But that was a good call. That was a really good call.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not upset with the call, right? Like, and I mean, we definitely hit the We hit the Bublik match. We hit on the RBA match. We had a good semis there during the spaces. That was fun.
We did, and we hit Rublev money line against RBA. Like I felt like RBA was just getting way too much hype. Like everyone on Twitter was on RBA, which just kind of puzzled me. Like,
Well, it's because it's exciting to be the number one seed in the tournament and a top five player, but like Medvedev's not a top five guy on grass, and I think there's a difference here. Like, I think the issue with Medvedev on clay is he doesn't embrace the surface.
mhm.
I think if he embraced / accepted the surface, he wouldn't be as good as he is on hard, but he'd be okay. Like he'd be like top 10. Grass, I think like he would have to change his style significantly in order to do better on the grass.
Probably. But he's probably never going to do that because the grass court season is just not that long, right? So it's like
I don't know why would he? Like why would he, right? Like
right.
does he really yeah, I don't think there's any reason for him to.
No.
Like
No reason. I mean, he really needs to peak for those two slams, Australia and the US Open, right? Those are he really needs to peak, and he needs to make at least semis or finals to keep a top 5 ranking, and then do well in all the other hard court events, maybe squeak out a clay event, like here or there. And then like, that's what he's going to live off of, but he's never going to be a French Open or Wimbledon champion. Like if he ever wins French Open or Wimbledon, I'm going to drop down and do 100 push-ups on the pod.
yeah, I mean, like, I agree with you. I think there's he's not going to win a French Open. He's not going to win 20.
He's not. No.
I was going to say there's a better chance at the French than Wimbledon, but it's still a 0. And I mean, I will say, I guess like the reason why people think you could also think that Medvedev might be okay on grass is like he does have a good serve.
Yeah.
But just the rest of his game does not suit the grass at all.
Does not. It does not. Plus, he's not very comfortable moving forward. It's another thing.
Lastly, another retirement for Jannik Sinner. Just kind of putting it in the books.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't talked about that. That's true. I mean, it's borderline embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, I just think when you're betting him, it makes him almost impossible to back on a futures market.
Absolutely. There's no way I'm playing Sinner ever on a futures market.
Maybe like a quarter and a 250 where you only have to win 2 matches. But like other than that,
what are the odds? I mean, he's getting like Alcaraz, Djokovic respect to win tournaments. Like you really think it's going to be minus 250 to win quarters. I mean, it's not. No.
Yeah, I mean, if you get like even money to win a quarter, maybe sometimes, but like, yeah, it's
maybe in a slam when you
have to in any match tournament where you have to play more than 4 to 5 matches, you have to discount his odds by like 15% due to like injury potential.
Yeah, it's just crazy that he played like one pretty physical match against Sonego, and then like that was it. It's just
it's crazy because like there's times when he's actually shown like he went out with Alcaraz for like over 4.5 hours late at night, and like
right.
He seemed fine at least for 4 sets there. Like, so how come like he gets into these matches and then he can't get through 1 set? It's like a really bizarre thing. But I think it has to be the viral illnesses issue.
That's very possible. And then I also think if he got through that match against Alcaraz, whether it was 4 or 5 sets, whatever it was, I don't think I think Tiafoe's in the US Open final.
And Casper Ruud, the US Open champion.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And Casper Ruud is world number 1.
Yeah.
Like
just to see you have to eat that. But
like that US Open might be like one of the biggest what ifs in tennis history.
Between that and Djokovic, yeah.
Yeah.
Djokovic, Zverev. Yeah.
Nadal kind of being like probably 50%.
Yeah, but has Nadal been above 50% in 2 years now?
I mean, he was definitely more than 50% at last year's Wimbledon and French and Australian, which he won.
Oh, I don't know last year's Wimbledon. That's when he had to.
Yeah, but up to that point, he may have not been like, serving well, but he was playing exceptionally well from the ground. Probably some of the best tennis I've seen like from the ground stroke. And the reason why that match against Fritz was so close is because he couldn't serve. But to win that match without a serve is pretty damn impressive. You know?
Yeah, I mean, but he was still injured. Like, I'm gonna have a hard time saying that he was like. I mean, I guess like it's and
Just
like
from the ground, though. Just playing like ground stroke tennis, he was playing amazing. Amazing. Just like if you like watch tape of those slams, just like watch him like hitting ground strokes. Like he would barely miss balls. Period. And that,
Yeah, I'll give
you
you
know,
that. I'll give you that. I don't know. It
yeah.
wasn't. I'm still in love with like the early 2010s Nadal, but I thought just like the
Okay.
spin rate and like the strokes with like the ball quality. But yeah, you're right. The accuracy was pretty darn good against Fritz.
It was. It was. Yeah. And I
Um,
thought that match he played against Novak in the quarterfinals was absolutely amazing from Nadal
of the French.
of the French.
Yeah,
One
I mean the
four
French he
sets.
always plays up for though, right? Like that's his
Right.
play.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But
well,
yeah, that's
yeah, I think
Halle.
that are we. I think we're out of takes now for Holly. We can move over to Queens.
Yeah.
Queens. Um, so Alcaraz wins the tournament, first grass title. Clap, clap. I mean, it's impressive how fast he transitioned to the surface.
Yeah. He's a very, very quick learner. I mean, he's just a superior athlete, right? It's that simple, you know? Uh,
Yeah,
just athletically too, he's so good that it's like he can really adjust quickly because like I mean I don't know, it's just amazing, what he does. And like his shot making, he's such an all-around player. He's so complete, right? So like it's really just kind of figuring out that movement and getting a little bit more confident in with his footing and like he can figure it out. Whereas like all
yeah.
the other guys, they're just not as complete, right? And they're also way inferior athletically. So it's just much harder for them. It takes so much more time for them to kind of put it together.
In this tournament, there was nobody who was near him with athleticism and weapons. Like
Right.
some guys were close on one or the other. There was nobody who was close on both. Like if you look at like the mat, like Demon Or's close on athleticism,
Mm-hmm.
nowhere near on weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Corda is nowhere near him really in any department.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like I mean, really, yeah,
Backhand to
really
backhand, but that's
close.
very specific.
What?
Maybe backhand to backhand, he's slightly better, but that's it.
Yeah, maybe. But athleticism and physicality, no, not even close.
No.
Rune athleticism, nowhere close. Weapons, but nothing to go around with it.
And
Um,
mentally as well. So much inferior mentally as well. And
yeah.
cardio. And I mean it's just yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but I guess Demonor I thought was really good this tournament, and like I love seeing Demonor succeed on grass. I love that. I don't know if we talked about on the last pot or if it was on the spaces, but I
Mhm.
love this class of like grass grinders,
Yeah.
and like Demonor heads that class. Actually, Demonor doesn't
Does.
head the class. No, Novak Djokovic heads the class, but Novak Djokovic heads almost every class he's in.
Right.
Um, but like I love the
I
way
mean,
that
I guess you could
Demonor
put
like,
Alcaraz in that class too, right? Because he's not really a serve bot.
but he's yeah, but Alcaraz, like, I don't know, he's just such big weapons, man.
Yeah, he
Like,
does. He does.
I don't really think of Alcaraz as a grinder.
But I think he's capable of doing it if he needs to. I actually don't think he does it enough.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
actually think if
I
he did
agree.
it more, he'd be even better, which is
Yeah,
scary.
I think he's probably physically capable of it. When I'm not sure, like, I don't know if he's mentally capable of it yet for long stretches.
I think he's capable of doing anything. It's just kind of like it's not in his it's not
Well, physically
instinctual.
capable, like I'm not saying he's not physically capable. I'm saying is he mentally disciplined enough?
I think he's willing to do whatever it takes to be great, right? I just don't think it's like the way he kind of wants to play. It's not
Is he
wants, but it's
disciplined enough
like
to do it during a match?
it's not what he's grown up doing though, right? So it's something he's going to have to learn to do. But I think he's willing to do it. That's my point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think like I'm kind of in like a once he starts like I don't know because I think that's maybe something he could have done against Novak that would that might have helped him more, like to avoid wearing down, but maybe he just wore down to like nerves and tension. I don't know, man. I, but I hear your point. I just we'll see. We'll see, right? You never know. We'll see.
I mean, he has such big weapons. I don't think he should do that all the time, but he needs to pick his spots of when to do it. And then, that's kind of what Novak does, right? Like, he doesn't like to do that all the time either, but he picks his spots and when to do that, and that makes him so lethal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's something Alcaraz needs to implement in his game. Like, that's the next step for him.
I agree.
So, yeah.
But I also love the way that de Minaur's I feel like de Minaur does a lot of sneak attacks on the grass that works really well for him. Like I saw against Rune, he came out and drilled a couple of returns to start the match off. But and I wish he would do that more on other surfaces where he would kind of just decide to go big every so often.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he doesn't, I don't know. I feel like too often he gets into a complete grind defense mode, and it's just really hard to win that way.
Well, I think deep in his mind, he knows that the surface is going to help him. So it's like, if he hits a really good flat ground stroke, that's the surface is going to cause the ball to skid and penetrate through the court quicker. Whereas on other surfaces, he feels like the opponent can get that. So why am I going to take so much risk?
I think you're right.
So I think it's calculated, and I think that's why grass suits him better. And I think Monterino kind of does the same thing.
Yeah.
Whereas he's willing to kind of rip a ball because he knows that the surface is going to help that ball penetrate. Whereas on a clay court, for example, a ball's going to puff up and the guy's just going to be able to blast a winner off that,
I also thought it was really cool to watch him just redirect balls against Rune.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. It was on a superior
Rune came out trying to blast with them, and I thought de Minaur actually won that part of the battle, and it got close. I was actually impressed by Rune there too, because I thought Rune made some good adjustments to be a little more I don't want to even say defense. He just got a little more spin on the ball, which helped him to miss less, but it also made de Minaur's life a little tougher. And I think that's how he made the second set a lot closer.
Okay. I would agree with that. I agree. He definitely made some adjustments.
Yeah, which I thought was good to see.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, Korda, disappointing but not surprising. I think Korda got a little overhyped this tournament.
100%.
I mean, if you go through who he beat Dan Evans, which isn't a bad win, but Evans hasn't been great recently. He beat a gassed Tiafoe. He beat a struggling Nori, and then he got beat, 3 and 4, which is a pretty much a beat down on grass. Especially given he came out to break to start the match, which was awesome for. Did you also get that minus 130 or not?
Which one?
The Alcaraz money line in the semis.
Oh yeah, I did. I was the one that pointed it out on the spaces because I was it got broken. We were talking about something else, and I'm like, oh, by the way, Korda just broke to start the match. Alcaraz is only minus 135. It's time to get on the sports book.
Yeah, because that was amazing. That was an amazing time. Because I don't know, man. I don't think I mean, he's just he's starting to get that aura around him that makes him making him really tough, right? Where guys are just where guys just they almost don't believe that they can beat him.
Well, we said this on the spaces. I think Korda is overhyped because I think that people want him to be good. They want him to be that next gen. They see the talent, right? I mean, I see the talent too. He's very smooth. He's very fluid. He's a good shot maker. I don't dislike him. It's just I think the public, they want him to be good. They want him to challenge for that. And they're looking for that next American star, right? So I think that that's part of the hype. But the results and what he really shows on the court doesn't really justify that,
I agree.
And I think he struggles in two aspects. I think his forehand is actually a liability. I think he leans back on the forehand. He doesn't really know how to attack on that wing. You know, like I don't know. I just feel like it's not secure.
I
Like
think
when,
not secure is probably the right uh, comment about it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I
I don't
also
know.
yeah
And his
yeah
serve is like below what people think it is. It's actually not that good.
yeah yeah.
Like he's not gonna hit a ton of aces. Like I actually think Alcaraz's serve is better, to be honest. If you just take serve for serve.
You might be right. It's pretty close.
Right. So I think the only thing good about his game is like his backhand, his like fluidity, his calmness, and his net game. Like those are his strengths, but like other than that, I don't really see anything special, to be honest. But I don't know. He was definitely overhyped here. Definitely. There's no doubt. And
Yeah.
actually, I might look to fade him at Wimbledon, to be honest.
Yeah, ironically, people are really bad. It's honestly the problem is like you can fade him in individual matchups, right? Like
Hmm.
because the thing is like he has the talent. It's interesting. It's like he's an interesting futures pick because like talent wise, the upside is like he's a high upside player, right? We saw him beat Medvedev in Australia. Like, he's a high upside guy on any given day.
Yeah.
But like coming off an injury, yada yada, like maybe slightly lower floor, which I think makes him a better like he's a guy you'd love to pit as a dog, like pick as a dog, but not back as much as a favorite.
But would you back him as a dog against Alcaraz?
Alcaraz might be the wrong matchup. Like I actually think um
I mean,
because
right now, if he played
Davies to
Tsitsipas right
me
now, he'd be a favorite.
what?
If he played Tsitsipas now, he really should be a favorite.
Well, I'm not talking about Tsitsipas, right? Like Dave from MP9 match made a really good point about it about like, and I wonder how much like A with the wrist injury, but like B in general, like I feel like he's better against flatter hitting players.
Hmm.
Um, so like I'd actually rather back him against Djokovic than against Alcaraz because I think the matchup against Djokovic favors him a little more. Um,
Okay.
I'm not saying he'd be a favorite against Djokovic by any means, but I'm
Right.
saying like you'd probably get a really good. I don't know what the price you get. You might get like something like the plus 1,000 range,
Yeah.
and like at plus 1,000, it might be worth considering. Like if I had to pick guys who could beat Djokovic, I think he'd be on the short list of that list, just matchup wise.
Okay.
Um, but like he also matches up poorly with some guys as well, right? And like he could. There's a lot of guys he can lose to also. So like I kind of have a little bit of a different take on him.
I mean, we got to see his draw. His draw is very important, right?
Well, I mean, I don't think like I mean, what kind of futures are you going to take him on? Like maybe to win a quarter, depending on the price. Like I think it's be really hard to take him outright.
Oh, 100%. It's very, very difficult to, unless I get like 80 to 1, which I doubt I will.
And honestly, like he wasn't even that impressive against guys like Nori and I didn't think he was
Tiafo.
that impressive against Tiafo. I didn't think he was that impressive against Nori. I think it was I mean Evans 4-5. I didn't see the match, but like that's
Yeah, it's not that impressive.
fine, but not
No,
amazing.
not at all. Um, yeah, I mean, I agree with all your takes. I mean, and I think that wrist take is very interesting. Like, who has a wrist
Like I
injury?
said, that's not my take. That's Dave from
Day
MP
for
Nine.
match
That's
point
a
nine.
better
That
credit.
was fantastic because
Yeah.
like, who's ever 100% after a wrist injury in tennis?
Oh no, I mean look at what happened to Del Potro team. Like the list of
Exactly.
guys who have had those types of injuries and never make it back is long.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the wrist is probably one of the most important joints.
Well, and so now you're asking why now you're asking like why is the forehand a liability? Well, that's probably the reason.
Well, I thought it was a liability before the wrist injury as well. But yeah,
That's fine, but a wrist injury, like I think the wrist injury is going to be worse for the
point.
backhand than the forehand. Or well,
Good
sorry, the
point.
other way around. Worse for the forehand than the backhand.
Good point. Good point.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not in terms of guys to talk about here, I was really disappointed in Dimitrov mentally again. I mean, that's just like That's just like, again, it just defines his career, but like
Yeah.
Fred Stack gets a 4-all in that second set and then just like gives away that 4-all game. Like one of the more disappointing, like one of the most disappointing individual games of tennis I've ever seen a player play, to be honest.
It was terrible.
Like two doubles, a terrible error, and then there was one point that was like a decent, like kind of decent point that Alcaraz won, but two doubles and just a terrible miss. Like he just made a terrible miss, like 2 feet long. Like it was just like there was just no reason to miss the ball he missed. Like
It's just a lack of concentration. He put all the energy to get the break back, and then he gets the break back and just like I don't know. It's very, very disappointing. But that's who he is, right?
yeah,
Just
yeah,
an exceptionally talented player who just couldn't put it together mentally, except for probably 2017, right? For like a year where there was no Novak Djokovic, and he kind of like rose to number 3 in the world, but that was it. It was very, very short lived. So
yeah.
it's disappointing. It's disappointing. But anything else from London?
No,
Do you think that I think that solidifies Alcaraz as being a number 2 favorite for Wimbledon? I don't think there's any doubt about it anymore.
yeah. I mean, I can't think of anybody else. Like, I mean, honestly, like Medvedev, no. Rude didn't even play grass at all, so no. Tsitsipas, no. Rune, no. Rublev's kind of cool, but probably, I mean, you probably put Alcaraz above
Well,
him.
it's a terrible matchup against Novak, right?
Yeah,
And against Alcaraz, to be frank. But
yeah.
like,
Sinner's kind of fun, but again, like we'll even make it to that stage in the tournament.
like
Fritz, I don't know, man. Fritz has
no,
been
Fritz has
he's
been
kind of like covered
disappointing.
there. Kind of
Very
just a floater. Tiafoe is kind of a fun matchup. Like if Tiafoe gets hyped up, maybe he could do something. But like, yeah, but like my point is like you're absolutely right. Like Alcaraz would come out as like maybe being actually like legitimate, having some sort of like legitimate chance where it'd be kind of fun to see that matchup. Everybody else
oh.
is like it's either no or like maybe they could do something.
And if I get plus 400 on Alcaraz to win the title, I'm taking it because like I really just don't see anyone else.
Oh, I wouldn't at 400. I would not do it at
Really?
400. Yeah, because
What would you need?
probably like 7 or something. Because like 7, because the problem is like I agree he's the clear number 2, but I don't think he's a shoe in to make the final.
Yeah, but he's going to be on the opposite side of Novak.
Yeah, but he's probably going to play. So when he plays Novak in the final, what is he like? Plus 300, plus 350 on grass at Wimbledon in a final?
Plus
You can't tell
350.
me that like what?
Plus 350.
So you want him at plus 400 to win the
Nah,
title?
then yeah. No, I think it will be plus. I think it might be like plus 300, to be honest.
Even still, man, you want him at plus
Uh,
300 to win against Novak and plus 400 to win the tournament? Like you think it's 75% chance he makes the final? That's steep.
But you're also baking in the fact that Novak might have an injury or something. Like something might go wrong. Like I don't think there's any value in taking Novak at minus 150.
No, what are the features right now for Wimbledon?
Let's take a look.
Rather than have this theoretical debate, like
Yeah.
let's just go to the source.
Let's see here. Um, Sorry, guys. Just getting to the page. Can't find it.
Oh, it's not. It's not okay. That's. They just have Eastbourne and Mallorca, no Wimbledon.
Oh, right here, right here.
There you go.
Okay,
Three
Djokovic minus
fifty. Like no,
150. Alcaraz
no,
plus 350.
no. 350 is way too short
I would take it at
for
plus
anybody
400.
else to take. Like nobody else there looks appetizing. I think like if the lines stay here, it's going to be like a no pick. Because like there's nobody else I can take.
There's no one. I mean, the fact that Raonic is 60-1, get the hell out of here. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous, man. Chapo is 66-1. I mean, I wouldn't take him at 1,000-1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I saw some really funny ones. Like there were some pretty funny ones out there when I was looking before. It was because like Schwartzman's at 100-1 or something, right? Like 150-1.
150-1. I mean, would you take
Like
him
Monfils out there 150-1.
I
Like
know. It's ridiculous. If they added 2 zeros to it, I don't think I would take it.
no, no.
Brooksby. Brooksby is on the board. Oh my God.
What happened to Brooksby? Is he actually playing Wimbledon?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I haven't heard
He
anything
had a
about
bad
Brooksby.
injury.
Yeah, he had a bad injury. Haven't heard anything about him.
I know. Yeah. I mean, probably from this board right now, just like it's probably Tiafoe at 80-1 is probably the best pick because
That's
like
kind of, yeah, that would be my pick. Or
because
like
like
Bublik. Like what about Bublik at 80-1?
that's good too. That's not bad either. But like Raonic is ranked ahead of him. FAA is
Ahead
ahead of
of
him.
Bublik
Like
and Tiafoe. Yeah,
I mean, that's a
yeah.
joke. Even Murray ahead of him, that's a joke too.
Honestly, I think I goofed up here. Like I think I need to start looking at hitting these futures. Like it's tough in a tournament like this where there's such an obvious two favorites that are like
Yeah.
so far and away above.
Right.
But I think there's something to be said for hitting these like 2 week before the slam futures because like you just get like these ridiculous prices, like
You do.
Raonic being ahead of like Bublik and Tiafoe, or like FA being ahead, or like Berrettini. Like Barrett is like no, no, like if you want to tell me that Kyrgios is a better bet than some of those guys, like I don't agree, but I can see the logic, right? But like Raonic, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Shapo is better than Bublik. Shapo is better than Tiafoe. Like,
It
have
makes
these
no
guys been
sense.
watching tennis? Like,
I know.
it
Seriously.
feels like they haven't watched in 2 years. Like,
Either that or they just haven't revised the lines.
right, right.
But yeah, I mean, it's some of this is a joke. I mean, just out of curiosity, I'm just curious, like, what are the like US Open odds? Like, if we kind of go a little bit further, like into the future, for example. Um,
The problem is, look how ugly those top three are, man.
it's ugly. It's ugly.
Like,
Oh,
I mean, geez, like, the problem is like those like because Medvedev is like because those top three guys are all real threats. Those odds all suck.
right.
And then like the long shots, like
Well, the US Open is the most open slam, right? So
it's the most fair surface. I don't know if you would agree with that or not.
I also think it's like at the end of the year, right? So it's like, or towards the end of the year. So I just think like, I don't know, the top guys might, that slight bit of fatigue might creep in, right? So like some longer shot might have a slight edge or chance per se.
Yeah, I tend to think it's. I mean, maybe a little bit. I tend to be. I tend to like. I take the surface angle on it, and then I take like. Um. Yeah, I think it's for me. It's probably more the surface angle than anything else. But like, I think you're right. I think there's probably a fair point to be said about that being end of year. Like, and
Yeah.
because there's sometimes some guys get a little
Well,
mentally
that's why
fatigued.
you get those like random winners in Paris, right? And like the
That's
like
a Masters. I think it's different. Yeah, you're right. Paris Masters is definitely a very random event.
it's a random event, but like towards the end of the year, you get more injuries, you get more, fatigued players and stuff. So it's like I think the most open of the slams, but we're getting way ahead of ourselves. So let's focus it back on grass. But I mean, some of these lines are just so laughable, man. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah. All right. So anything you want to add about the recap last week?
No, no. I think we can move on to the tournaments that are going on currently.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So
Where do we start?
let's start in Eastbourne.
All right. I kind of prefer to start there myself. So they're a little bit behind Mallorca in terms of how the speed of the tournament. I think they just finished all of round one today.
Okay.
Um,
So are there 8 round of 16 matches tomorrow?
yeah, they're all tomorrow. The whole round of 16 is tomorrow, so it's a pretty big
Wow.
day.
Holy crap.
Um,
Didn't realize that.
yeah. In terms of results so far in the tournament so far, Mackey beat Cecchinato, which is, I mean, I actually bet Cecchinato on that today because he was plus 425. I know he sucks on grass, but I just thought 425 for Mackey. I didn't think Mackey should be favored, should be that much of a favorite against anyone. So I took Cecchinato at the plus 425, which blew up in my face. But sad times there. Emer won as a dog over Bodic.
I had that bet.
I did not.
Really? On a
I
hard fade on Van de Zandschulp right now. He is terrible.
I know, but he should be better on grass.
He should, but his problem is not is he good on grass? His problem is right now competing. It feels like he doesn't want to be on the court.
You're right. You're absolutely right. That was a missed opportunity.
And it's Ymer is going to make balls, right? He's just going to grind and rally, and Bodic just doesn't want to deal with that.
No, you're right. It was a missed opportunity.
So
he was going to beat Peniston. Such a really interesting match with Cerundolo that I'm sure we'll get into.
mm-hmm.
My hit of the day, I bet Zhang over Sonego at plus 350.
That was a great hit, and I did not see that coming. I was on the Discord talking up Sonego. I did not see that coming. What was your rationale there?
I mean, so I don't know. Zhang's a guy I like to There's not a lot of guys that I wouldn't take Zhang to beat at plus 300, especially on a grass surface. Because I get it, he's not that comfortable, but he has a big game. And if he's making balls in the court, on grass, he's got a shot against anybody. I thought Sonego would win, but I just thought the 350 was way too far of a line.
Fair.
And then that's why to me it was a long shot money line play as opposed to a take the over or take the set because
you didn't look at his 2 results on grass before this match.
No, I did. I knew he hadn't done it's just a matter of that's gonna happen. He's a young prospect kid. There's gonna be days on a new surface where it's just gonna go completely sideways, right? This could have easily been 2-2, Manny. Even on a grass or maybe 2-4, 3-2 or something
And Sonego kind of choked that first set away, to be honest. He had a missed volley on break point, an easy backhand volley.
Yeah, a little bit. But once he got through the first, I mean, yeah, overall it was a pretty good match. But yeah, I don't know. I just I think with Zhang, he's because he's gonna have some huge dips. He's a guy who I wouldn't take him as a dog to cover spreads.
Okay.
Right? I would take I want to take big plus money stuff with him because I feel it's kind of boom or bust.
Okay. Well, just a little sneak into later on in the pod. I'm definitely backing him as a dog against Cressy.
Okay.
There's no doubt. I mean, you said that you would rather back him as a dog than as a favorite, right? And I'm totally all over it for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great bet, obviously. I mean, I thought a lot of people on Twitter were on Zhang's side there, and I just didn't see it just based on those 2 losses against Wessels and I think he lost another qualifying.
Oh, yeah, he's just a guy who it's going to be it's going to be great or it's going to be bad. Right? It's not going to be, I mean, sometimes it'll be in between too, but the range of outcomes is wider for him than other players.
Yeah. All right, and then moving on, Kecmanovic, 7-6, 7-6. That was our play.
Another game match play destroyed.
Oh man,
I can't believe this actually went because I mean, I guess the only explanation I can have again is young kid, right? From what I heard about the match, Yibing Wu just did not play well.
He did not, and he wasn't very opportunistic. He was also up a break in the second, and then lost the break, and then it was a disappointing match. I think in terms of plays of the day, we should never bet a Kecmanovic match in our play of the day because to me, he might be top 3 in terms of toughest guys to read in terms of
He's
betting.
tough to read, but like beyond that, like I think today just Wu didn't play great, and like that's gonna have like that's gonna like I don't know, like this is tough because like it was like what was it like -110 or something or -105 we got Wu at. It
Yeah.
wasn't like it was like
Yeah,
a
it was pretty
massive
good.
like if it was -150 or something, I'd say yeah it was a bad play, but like at -110 or -105, I don't think it was that bad. It just didn't work out today.
But it's like which Kecmanovic is going to show up? Is it going to be like one that competes or just like one that just like goes away completely? You know what I mean?
So you want to talk about Kecmanovic side? My point is like, even if Kecmanovic wanted to compete, I don't think it was like, oh, Kecmanovic wanted to compete today, so he was like probably going to beat Yibing Wu. Like Yibing Wu also had to play not his best.
That's true. That's true.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving on, Vukic beat Nakashima, 3 tiebreaks.
Mm-hmm.
More tiebreaks for Barrera over Rusevori. Rusevori was up 5-2 in the third.
Good one from Barrera, though.
Yeah, another loss for Rusevori in a match he should have won.
Right. This is the one match where the over hits for Rusevori.
Yeah, I didn't touch it. So I was
well, they played a 5-setter at the French
Sunday.
as well.
What?
And that match, so this match I actually did hit the over last minute. It was after I posted the picks on Twitter because like they played a match at the French and it went over as well. So, and Barrera can only win tiebreaks against Rusevori. Like he wins all the tiebreaks against Rusevori and then loses all the other sets. It's just weird, but like it's a closer matchup than like Rusevori is actually the better player in this matchup. It's just like Barrera, I think, is a slightly mentally tougher player. It's just weird.
Yeah. Match I feel like was a huge missed opportunity. Wolf versus Etch. I think that line came out close to a pick'em, didn't it?
Yes. I didn't touch it. I didn't really have a read.
Yeah, and I didn't so I should have realized that Etch wouldn't move that well on grass, given he doesn't really I don't know, I don't think his like his weapons are better than his movement. I like you could have predicted that Etch wouldn't have been, but like it was hard because Etch hadn't played on grass yet, and I wanted to see like the new and improved Etch on grass before I bet either way on it.
It was hideous. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so disappointed. I had Lofhagen to win this quarter at 80-1.
Oh man.
And he choked with that match versus Van Ash.
Oh.
I'm like, this is such a winnable quarter, man. Like
it is. It is.
So
right now you could get like Van Ash to win the quarter at like plus 700, I think, and Baez at plus 800.
Yeah, and actually, so what is Wolf to win this quarter?
Plus 220.
I think that's the pick.
I think that's the pick, but I actually think the value's with Van Ash. At plus 650.
What do you think the line should be today?
It should be a little bit closer because honestly, all 4 of these guys are not like proven grass court players. Like anything can happen here.
I watched the match, Van Ash versus Lofhagen. I didn't think Van Ash was that good, man. Like Van Ash lost the match, but even the way he played, he wasn't that good. Like Lofhagen gave that match. I mean, and like that's why Lofhagen's on the Challenger Tour, right? But he gave that match away with just bad errors. Like Van Ash's game just does not suit grass, in my opinion. He moves fine. It's just like he just doesn't have weapons. Like he's like a bad grass grinder.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. I mean, but like I guess Wolf has a better game for grass. I mean, like we'll get into the lines there. I don't know. I'm personally staying away from that match. I took a quick look before our pod at that line. I just like didn't like. I know the match point guys are all over Wolf there, but I don't know. I don't necessarily trust JJ Wolf because his grass court experience is limited as well.
Yeah, but he's looked. I don't know. I don't hate Wolf there. I'll say that much. I think Van Ash is a fade. I mean, I think like on grass.
Okay.
And I think like in this section, like Tommy Paul's a hard fade for me. Like I question if he's going to show up. Like Tommy Paul throws a few duds in here and there, and I could definitely see a dud coming out in one of these next 2 matches. Probably more likely against in the quarters than against Baez,
Right.
but
Right. I think these top guys are going to look to play one or two matches. And then I also think that they're going to look to see what side of the draw they are at Wimbledon. Because if they're on the top half, or no, I'm sorry, if they're on the bottom
bottom
half,
half goes Sunday, right?
bottom half plays Monday because
Monday,
Djokovic
that's what I
on the
meant.
bottom
Yeah,
half. He'll be number 2, right? So if they see that they're on the bottom half and they're playing Monday, they're going to look to get out of here.
they might. Yeah.
So I
Well,
think
it depends, right? Like, I mean, how many guys that really apply to? Like, it maybe applies to Fritz.
well, I
Although,
think if they're playing Tuesday, they're more likely to kind of stick this out, right? Plus, I think it's actually more likely in Mallorca than in Eastbourne because like it's a shorter trip to
yeah,
London.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, and if you look at the guys here, like, is Fritz? I think Fritz, like, Fritz won this event last year, so I think he'll probably hang out here and try to win
Fritz
this.
always plays these 250s pretty hard. He's been very adamant about like he hates losing in like quarterfinals or semis because like he feels like he puts in work, and then if he doesn't win, it's just like why was I here?
Yeah.
And he's been very open about that. So, and he played very hard the week before the French too in Geneva.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I agree.
Like
Um,
I think he's still in the position where he goes all out for any tournament he enters.
yeah, I think Dolo's in the same place. Um, like, I really don't see a guy who's left who that logic applies to besides Tommy Paul.
But Tommy Paul honestly really isn't in that position where he should be doing that because he's lacking grass court
And
form.
Tommy Paul can do that anywhere, right? That's my point. Like, and I don't know. I think Tommy Paul's a candidate to do something at Wimbledon.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean,
Like maybe, by do something, maybe make a quarterfinal.
he really needs a good draw to do that.
He made the semis at the AO and obviously had a great draw, but like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, we'll have to see. I'm not too optimistic about him, to be honest. My favorite bet of this tournament was to bet this second quarter to win the title at plus 375. I mean,
Yeah, the
that
problem is like I don't like that nearly as much. Well, I get it because there's a lot of good guys there. The problem is they're all going to beat each other up.
I don't like it now that Sonego lost.
Sonego was kind of your guy there.
He was. But the fact that you also have Cerundolo here, who I actually think is underrated on grass. I know it's not
I
a very
agree, but I don't
popular
think he's
opinion,
good.
but I think he's like not bad because like he's a good mover, right? He has compact swings, right?
Yeah, but I see him struggle when the ball doesn't bounce up. Like I feel like he gets into too many long rallies, doesn't hit enough winners, and like then he ends up making a lot of errors because the ball doesn't bounce right, and then he gets frustrated.
Yeah.
It probably depends a little on the grass too. Like a Wimbledon, which is like better grass courts and like a little bit slower for grass, he'll probably be a little bit better at.
Well, he'll be better if he gets to the second week because that grass hardens up, right? Especially
Yeah,
at the baseline. So he'll be better off as the tournament progresses. I mean, but winning a couple matches is not easy, you know? The draw's cut in half every round. But like here, I think he's the best bet to get out of the quarter, to be honest. Like, what's that quarter price right now?
probably pretty even on all four guys.
Plus 225?
Man, I can't believe Cressy's the favorite to get out of this quarter. What a
It's a
joke!
joke.
Like, because I actually think Zhang beats him tomorrow.
Me too. Me too.
Um, and then
Like,
Doler.
do you like Zhang then at plus 450 to win the quarter? I think that's a hit. If we think he's going to beat Cressy, I would take his chances against Cerundolo or Husler.
What do you think that line should be against a hypothetical line against Cerundolo or Husler?
Well, I think Cerundolo should be the favorite to win the quarter.
Yeah, I agree. The fact that Cressy is way overhyped here opens up value for somebody. I think I just don't know who it is. I think it's Zhang. I agree with you. I think it's Zhang. I'm probably gonna hit that. I am going to hit that. I think that's a good bet.
Because I actually think Cerundolo Husler is the closer match. Like,
Actually, I'm not going to hit it because I already have a. I. It's funny, man. I have a futures at plus 220 for Cerundolo to win this quarter already. I forgot I had that.
yeah, I have it too.
So I don't really see a reason to double down there. Like nothing's changed.
I have a second quarter to win the title, and then I have Cerundolo to win the title as well at 1,400.
Do I have a Cerundolo to win the title? I don't think I do. I think I just did the quarter with him.
Just the quarter.
Yeah.
But now
I was pretty conservative. Actually, my only two bets were Lofhagen to win the quarter and Cerundolo to win the quarter. I was a lot more aggressive in Mallorca.
okay. Second quarter to win the title. Well, without Sonego there, it's a little bit more iffy, so I don't like it as much. But all right. Well, that's Eastbourne for you.
I guess the lines, right? We're going to tomorrow's lines.
Yeah, sure. Just a quick break, and then we'll get right into Eastbourne lines. We'll be right back.
Awesome.
All right, we're back. So we're back to preview some Eastbourne round of 16 matches.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. So the first line, we got Barrere versus Yari. So Barrere is plus 2.5 game underdog, plus 175 on the money line. Over under is 23 here. Do you have a play?
I have a little bit of a different play.
Okay.
I like the first set over 10 at minus 115. Yari has been really, I mean, and granted, it's hard because like there's not much grass data, but Yari's returning on grass. He's won 34% of return points this year on grass, which isn't great. 36% overall this year so far on grass. So 36% so far for the year total, which includes a lot of time on the clay, obviously. He's just like, when we know this with Yar, right? But it's like big serves, big game, but like, especially on the grass, return games are really hard for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Barrere, like, I don't know, Barrere's like nothing special, but I don't know, like, yeah, I mean, I would characterize Barrere as nothing special. So given that, I like the over 10. Over 10 and a half, I wouldn't be as excited, but over 10, like, you still get a push at 6-4. And I don't see this with Yari involved, I don't see this being a multi-break set. So the only thing that's at all scary is 6-3.
I mean, I'm willing to. I like to play a lot. I'm going more aggressive, and I'm just going to hit the tiebreak in the first set. Because it's not on Bovada, but I think I got it on a different book at like plus 200 in that vicinity, or 210.
That's not bad. That's approaching the spot where I take that.
It's just like they played so many tie breaks, and it's like, how are these guys going to break?
Well, that's the question I have. Is my question is more, how is Yari going to break and how is he going to get broken? It's more around Yari. Like, I think of Barrere as like a kind of like a nothing special guy.
I mean, like most of it, I mean, he's played 6 sets on grass, one went to a tiebreak, but then there were 3 7-5 sets.
Yeah. And Barrere's played 10 sets, 4 have gone to tie breaks.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I'm not gonna be too aggressive with that, so I'm gonna do like 1/12.5 parlay tomorrow in the
Okay.
first set, and this is one of the legs.
I like it. I like it.
So I mean, it's a long shot parlay. It's a 3-way parlay, but I'm just gonna like it's half a unit, just long shot kind of bet. But this is definitely one of the legs in that parlay.
Yeah.
So, but overall though, I like since we think that the first set is going to be over 10 games, I'm going to hit the over 23 here, the over in games, and I also like the Barrera money line.
I'm
Like if
surprised Jari's your boy.
he is, but like if you're going to if you're convinced that these are going to be long drawn out sets, and like we're anticipating 2 tie breaks, like plus 175 to win 2 tie breaks, I don't think that's a bad price.
It's close. I was originally on this, but then I looked and like, I don't know, man. I'm just not convinced that Barrera's that good of a player. Um, Even if you look at his results, like, I don't know, he's a little shaky there. Like 2.5 is 1 break. So I don't love the game spread. Over 23, again, like 1 break can screw you over there. I don't think the over 23 is a terrible look. I think it's okay. But I prefer the over 10 in the first set. I think it's a little safer.
I mean, he should have beat Tsitsipas and Halle, which isn't saying much. But like, I think that win against Ruusuvuori was pretty good.
It would be a better win if Ruusuvuori didn't choke the match away from up 5-2 in the third.
Okay, fair.
Right? Like if you take that away, then he's got 1 win over Oscar Oat, who's been terrible.
Yeah.
Like I don't think Barrera is terrible. Like, he's just a guy. Like this is just like Yari versus like a guy, and like
I do think Barrera has a slight edge from the baseline on grass.
oh, I agree, but again, I think it'll be true of Yari against most guys, right? Like what is different about Barrera? And like I don't know, he's just yeah.
But that being said, I do not think Yari should be minus 215. I think this is more like a minus 200 versus a plus, well, maybe minus 185 versus a plus 150. That's where I would put the line.
I mean, that puts very little value on Barrera. I mean, that's a line that like you're with that line, it's like you're expecting him to win at a rate that's plus 170, and you're getting plus 175. Like I mean, you can hit that, but it's probably close to zero EV.
Well, no, I think Yari should be minus like 180.
Yeah, but I'm saying the book takes juice, right? So like the fact that it's 30 cents off, like basically offsets the juice.
So if Yari was minus 180, what would Barrera be? Like minus plus 150?
Plus 140 or something. But then that means that, but like minus 180 and plus 140 means that like the true odds is like plus 160. So you're getting like, yeah, you're getting like 175 on a 160. Like that's not terrible,
Okay.
but it's not, you know what I mean? Like it's like that's why I said
Yeah.
like I don't think it's like if you think that it's not a bad hit, but it's not like it's easy to not take into account the juice, right?
Right.
Like the book
Okay.
is taking big on every bet.
Okay. Yeah, but I think it's slightly off, so I'm gonna back Barrera here. So
Yeah,
I'll take the points.
I don't hate it. Like I think if I had to back it, I would back Barrera, but I think the over 10 on the first set in my mind is the best line. I think the second best line is probably the over, but I really like that over 10 in the first set.
Okay. Fair, fair. Kecmanovic and Vukic here. Um I hate backing Kecmanovic, but my bet here is -2 for Kecmanovic. I just think he's just better. I really think this should be a 3-game spread.
So I disagree, but we're quibbling. I think 2 is the right line. I'm staying.
Okay.
I think this is a pure stay away. I don't know why you'd want to bet on or against either of these guys.
So Vukic won 3 sets against Nakashima, 3 tie breaks.
But
Um,
that wasn't today, was it?
that was yesterday.
Yeah, so he's had a
Oh,
day off. So I don't think fatigue's really an issue here.
yeah, fatigue is not really the issue here, but it's just like how much on grass has he played?
Is Kecmanovic on grass really better than Nakashima? Is he really worse than Nakashima?
Yeah, I mean that's true. But it's which Kecmanovic shows up. Like if it's the right Kecmanovic, yeah, you know what? Maybe it's a stay away.
I honestly can't think of a more stay away match. Like,
On this.
and Vukic is a little up and down himself. Like, I don't know why you want to back either of these guys. And I don't really know why you'd want to back it over with Kecmanovic. Or, and like, I mean, I honestly, I just, like, I have no feel for this match. I can see anything happening.
Right. I hate backing Kecmanovic. I just think like Vukic is a challenger level player. And it looked like Kecmanovic was motivated this week based on his win against Wu. Um,
If you think that was more good Kecmanovic than bad Wu.
I think it was a little bit mix of both. It wasn't good Wu, but it was decent Kecmanovic.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're staying away totally. I mean, you may have talked me into the stay away, to be honest. Like Vukic is just he's a challenger level guy playing against an ATP level guy.
Yeah, but Kecmanovic just lost to Raonic on grass like a week or two ago. One of the most embarrassing ones there. Right? Like, I can see anything happening. And I can see Kecmanovic winning this 4-3 also. But I have no idea what's going to happen here. I think the line is like 2 games on grass is not nothing, right? Like, is it like one break is pretty significant? Like, I think it's pretty well set.
It's never money line here. I'm not, never laying minus
No,
175 here.
no.
I'd rather lay the games. But and he went 5 sets against RBA in 21. He made the third round of Wimbledon last year. He didn't beat anyone good, but like I just think he's slightly more accomplished grass court player.
So that's
But
why you're playing 2 games, which like is kind of like laying a set, right?
yeah. All right, I'm probably going to cash out of that and just lay, not bet it, but that was my first instinct, but I think you talked me out of it, to be honest. Next match, Taylor Fritz and McDonald. Fritz is a 3.5 game favorite, minus 310 over the over under is 22.5. You have a play here?
I'm staying away. My
Mhm.
my initial instinct was to take Mackey in some capacity, but then I looked and Mackey is absolutely terrible against top 20 guys.
Mm-hmm.
In his career, he's like, in the last 4 years, he's won 2 matches in the last like 4 years against top 20 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Coric a week or two ago, and Nadal at the Australian Open.
I agree with you. Um,
But I think the line, but I can't like, but I think it's a sneaky tough matchup for Fritz. So I don't really want the Fritz side either.
well, Fritz also starts tournaments pretty slow, right? That's his kind of MO, or has it been a little better
Yeah,
recently?
I don't. I mean,
3 sets against Giron. O'Connell, a tough match. Fujovic lost the
hang out there
first
for a
set.
second. I got a thought. What is the first set line?
Plus 180 for Mackey.
Two, I'd be a lot more excited. I was thinking the first set spread actually,
Mm.
and playing, but like minus 1.5 doesn't do it for me.
I'm staying away here. I have no read on this match. Also, I think I'm like 80% sure Fritz is gonna wake up for this match and play hard, but I think there's that 20% off chance he wants to get to Wimbledon. So I don't know. I want to see a match
I
first to see
I
his
would say that
motivation.
except he's the defending champ here.
That's true. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. But then also Mackey, like, I agree with you, it could be a tough match, but then he throws duds in like he did against Schwartzman.
Well, it's not just done. It's like for me, like if I'm getting all that plus money, I'm okay with the dud because like you on the flip side, Fritz can throw in duds to start tournaments. My issue is more like I saw the record versus like good guy, like good like it made me realize like McDonald's against like he just doesn't like the flat forehand is fun and nice. And like the other interesting thing is Fritz had a hard time against Manarino. He lost to Manarino, and McDonald's kind of similar to that style wise, right? With the flat balls.
Hmm.
But like he's just not good enough to beat top competition McDonald. Like he's really just not a good enough tennis player to beat Fritz very often.
Yeah.
But like I think it could be competitive enough. Like I think 3.5 is actually the right line here on a grass court. It might be a little bit too far, like, but 3.5. It's hard to get excited about taking 3.5 games on grass because like you could be screwed with one break.
It is hard. It's really hard. Like I took 3.5 with Monterino today, and I paid the price.
Yeah.
You know, and then like Fritz over 12.5. I was looking
I
at.
actually really that was the line I really wanted to hit was the Fritz over 12.5. But
You're
then
laying so much juice.
I'm like over 13 is really tough to hit.
I
But
don't
at
like.
that point, like you're almost better off hitting the 3 set line.
Yeah, yeah. The 3 set
I
line
mean,
is
that's
actually
there is kind of fun at plus 150. That's a pretty good line
not bad.
for 3 sets, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm staying away here as
Yeah,
well.
me too.
Next match we got Liam Brody and Michael Yeamer. I don't really have a good read on this match either. Brody is plus 3 game underdog, plus 160 on the money line, and the over under is 22.5. I just it's really hard to get a read on this match. Do you have a read?
Yeah, I think it's a hard match to read. Also, my read is that it's a hard match to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Like I was
I,
tempted.
I
I
always
think
see like Leon Brody, like he shows up in meaningful tournaments like this time of year. Um,
yeah, I mean, to me, I think the only line kind of worth thinking about hitting is the Brody money line at plus 160. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but I think that that's the only like line worth thinking about.
yeah, Emer's just not a great grass court player. Like, I mean, what is the Brody to take a set money line?
Minus 165.
Yeah, see, the problem is just too juiced. Like, I think this line is. I don't know if this line is correct, but like, I think the only option here, the only way to play this is the money line.
Is it worth taking a stab at? Because like Emer has compete issues. I know it's in Britain, so the crowd support is going to be on Brody.
What's the 3 set line?
Plus 140. But like
It's tough. Like Emer's actually been playing a lot of 3 set matches lately. Um,
Emer,
yeah.
yeah, the last 4 matches were 3 sets.
But like, man, I mean, like, I don't. I mean, I really don't like this. This is just not like a. I don't like it. Like the problem is like Emir's probably the better tennis player. He is the better tennis player, but he's also like a 3 game favorite. But like I think if you're, I think the only 2 ways to play this are either, and it sounds kind of weird to say this, but either Brody money line or Emir 2-0.
I think it's Brody money
Both those you
line
get
and
plus
three
money.
sets.
What?
I think it's Brody money line and 3 sets. I think those are the only 2 ways. How is Brody serve? Is it like a good lefty serve, or is it like it just starts the point? I don't really remember.
I'm looking at his grass stats. I mean, Grass stats are not ideal. He's won 63% of points on serve last 52 weeks on grass, which is not great. Held 80%, which is like probably average to a little bit below.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I mean, I don't know, man. Like the answer is probably nothing special. Like,
But Ymer's also a decent returner, right? He's gonna like he gets balls back in play. He doesn't really do much with them, but he gets balls back in play. So it's gonna test Brody's rally tolerance. So I'm not so sure. I think I'm just gonna stay away here.
yeah, I don't really have a need to play this myself.
All right, next match, Cerundolo and Husler. So this here, Cerundolo is a 1-game favorite, minus 125 on the money line. Over under is 23. So this is one of my plays of the day here. I love the Cerundolo money line here at minus 125.
I initially did as well.
Uh-huh.
Um, the Bet Rivers Game Bad Match podcast, I listened to them. They were the other way.
Really? They went Husler?
Yeah.
So I listened to the Match Point 9 guys on my way home from work today. Um, I'm surprised by that. What was their reasoning?
They thought the line should be flipped. They thought Hughes should be a slight favorite.
Interesting.
Um,
I love Dolo here
the
because
game just fits. I mean, the game style just fits Huesler. Like Huesler's game is a better fit for grass than Cerundolo.
it's a better fit for the surface, but Cerundolo has a way better rally tolerance.
And he's a way better tennis player. Like, but I mean,
Yes.
rally tolerance matters less on grass, right? Like, well, like Cerundolo might almost have too much rally tolerance for grass. I said that in the beginning of the pod. I think this line is pretty well set. Like, I'm hoping the markets get on Huesler and that this line flips, and then I can take Cerundolo at like, if this gets like minus 105 or something, I would take Cerundolo. So like, I'm not that far off, but yeah, at minus 125, I'm not really interested.
Really interesting. I don't know. I just think like whenever the point starts, Cerundolo has an edge here, and Husler is going to be forced into making errors.
I don't know, man. Like, Huesler can be aggressive on the return, and if he's able to like that's a problem on grass. Like, Cerundolo doesn't really have like a slice. Like, I don't know, man. It's like I don't like I. But the problem's on the flip side. Cerundolo's just a better. He's just better at the game of tennis.
Exactly.
So like, which makes me say it's pretty close, and I'm
If
just gonna
Husler is missing a lot of first serves, this is
what?
if Husler is missing a lot of first serves, this is very problematic for him.
That's true of any Huesler match.
Right, but I feel like if Cerundolo is missing first serves, he can rely on his rally game and kind of like big forehand to kind
Yeah,
of
I'm not so sure
help.
on grass, man, because like
I think you're weighing surface too much here. I'm just going base. I mean, surface obviously has a play. I mean, if this match was played on clay, Cerundolo would be a 4-game favorite or a 4.5-game favorite.
of course, yeah, of course.
Right? So it's just like I don't think surface accounts for 3 games here, 3.5 games. That's just my take.
Well, okay, that's you have to be, but you're going from one extreme to the other, right? Like, so I agree with you. Like, from one extreme to the other, it might be close to that though. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
I don't know. I personally like the Cerundolo money line. You can tail, you can disagree, but
I'm just staying away. I'm not necessarily like
okay.
it's this is a tough day, man. It's a tough day tomorrow to bet.
It is. It is. All right, next match, JJ Wolf and Luca Van Ash. Wolf is a 3.5-game favorite, minus 260. Over under is 22.5. Did I have a play here? I can't remember.
I think this is like I think this is pick your like this matchup to me just favors Wolf, man. On a grass court, like Van Ash is going to hit nice friendly balls for Wolf to just smack at. Like,
So Dave on the MP9 pod had the Wolf 2-0. You
yeah,
like
I'd even
that?
money.
Even money?
Minus one. When I said 2-0, yeah, it's even money.
You like that? Is that what you're hitting?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
gonna hit that?
Yeah. I think this matchup just really favors Wolf, man.
I think it does. I just don't trust his like movement. He's very erratic too. And like Van Ash is actually the steadier player. You know,
Yeah,
like
but steady doesn't count for as much on grass.
it doesn't, but if Wolf is missing, he's missing.
Yeah. He
You
did
know what
lose
I
to
mean?
Mackey.
So that's the reason why I don't like the 2-0 play, because if Wolf goes through one of those lulls, like you can forget that.
Yeah, but do you want to take the Wolf money line at minus 350?
I'm staying away.
I'm gonna hit Wolf. Like,
Okay.
I don't know, man. I watched that match. Like, Van Ash he just doesn't do anything. Like, it's completely on Wolf's racket. And if Wolf can't dispose of Van Ash relatively easily, like, I don't know, man. Like Mackey, it's a tricky ball, so I actually get how he would lose that. And it was his first match on grass, I think, of the season. Like, he's had a few matches on grass now. Like, this should be Wolf, man.
It should be. I agree, but I'm just staying away. I just don't trust JJ Wolf enough. And like
I actually don't think the Wolf money line is horrible either. It's kind of lame at minus 260, but like I think there's probably some EV there also. Like I think he wins this 3 out of 4. Like he's just
okay. Okay. That's fair. Next match here we got is Maxime Cressy and Zhizheng Zhang. So Cressy's a 2.5 game favorite, minus 210, and the over-under is 23.5. So this is another one of my play of the day, and it's Zhang money line.
I'll back you on that. I think this is pick your favorite Zhang line. I'll back you on that. Yeah, we'll go
I
plus one.
think this has a possibility of
It's a little scary because I think there could be a chance you were overhyping Zhang here. Like Zhang, I mean, this could go sideways too, right? Like, so it's like
but
it'll.
we're fading Cressy.
I doubt we're gonna have a better play, but I mean, I don't have a ton of confidence in this, but I'll hit it at plus 170. I think it's plus EV.
But we're fading Cressy too. We're not just backing Zhang, we're fading Cressy.
But it could go really sideways for Zhang. Like at least Cressy's gonna hit some good serves in the court and some good.
He's also going to hit
ball.
plenty of serves out of the court too.
He will, but like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like Cressy, like the fact that like with his game style, like the range of outcomes is much wider for Zhang than for Cressy. But
you really think one win for Cressy, which he nearly choked against Galan?
This has nothing to do with me backing being at all interested in Cressy. This is just me saying like I don't have a like. Neither of these guys is a guy who I really like, who I bet on with like a high confidence level, because they're both like so wacky. Not wacky, but like if Cressy's serving well, he's not going to get broken, and then Zhang has to get lucky in a couple of tie breaks and not make dumb errors in the tie breaks. If Zhang is playing well, Cressy has no chance.
And Cressy could serve well for the first 10 games or first 6 games of the set, and then just play one game where he drops 3 doubles.
I'm behind you on the Zhang money line. I'm just saying it's not a ton of like I'm not super confident about it, but we'll hit the Zhang money line. Like that is my play there. And because there's nothing else to be our play of the day, it'll be our play of the day, I'm guessing.
Probably not, but that was my favorite play, to be honest. I'm shocked how much respect Cressy's gotten, considering he's only won one match in his last 12.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is all about Zhang, right? This is all like, do you trust Zhang to This is all, do you trust Zhang to be able to like play a half decent tennis match. Like I don't, right? Like you've seen the results on Zhang. Like you were telling me yesterday, you were telling me an hour ago how much Zhang sucks.
Yeah,
Like, I want to rewind the
I
tape.
just think Cressy sucks more.
I want to rewind the tape and have you explain to me how bad Zhang is for the 2 minutes and like, oh, he lost bad matches to Squire and Wessels and like
That's a
backing
good,
money line, man. I have high confidence in backing this guy money line, even though he lost to Wessels
that
42.
that's a really good point. But he's playing Maxime Cressy, who couldn't win a tennis match in 3 months.
I'm behind you. Like I said, I'm behind you on the money line. Like, I guess this is like, and I'm pretty much 1 unit on everything. But if you're somebody who varies units, like this wouldn't be anything close to a max play for me.
Okay. Okay.
Just because I think like, I mean, Zhang could go any like that. Either of these guys could play a whole lot of different types of tennis. But I think there's more. I actually think this line should be like this. I think should be really. They should be like closer to a pick 'em. I think.
Pick him. Yeah, exactly. I
But I think
mean,
this line is comically off, and that's why I'm taking Zhang. I'm just
right.
saying, like, just like
I was shitting on Zhang an hour ago, right? But this is also a price play too.
yeah. That's my point. That's my point.
So, okay. All right.
But like I
Uh,
said, Matt Zhang is a dog, man. He's a plus 170 dog. He's a great back.
yes, I agree. I agree. All right. Baez and Paul, last match in Eastbourne tomorrow. Paul's a 4.5 game favorite, minus 500 on the money line. Baez is plus 375. Over under is 21. I actually think this. I'm curious to see what your play is here. My play here is Baez plus 4.5.
Yeah, I agree with you. Baez is like so Baez for his career, for Baez last year's. Yeah, it's hard, man. Like I don't really know because like so this is Baez last couple years on grass, right? Beat Jordan Thompson Mallorca, lost to Altmaier Mallorca, beat Taro Daniel at Wimbledon in straight sets, lost to Goffin in straight sets badly. So like, and then he beat Borges here, and like that's your career. I mean, as we know, Baez is 22. So, as Fusevitz let us know,
Yeah,
Fusevitz got that nice on court interview from Baez to learn that he's
right.
22.
Vucevic let us know. That's true. That was great. Yeah, I mean, I just think Paul is a little bit overvalued here. Like, what makes him be a minus 500 favorite? Has he really proved anything this season on
I
grass?
might just my unit here and go Baez half a unit plus 4.5 and half plus 375. Or maybe, I mean, as insane as this sounds, like I want to look at their head to head because like I get it, right? Like, man, it's hard to ever take games with Baez because like he has zero serve. Like his serve, like he may as well just play points off the
Yes,
baseline. There's no head to
yes,
head.
but Baez is going to have looks on Paul's serve to break. I mean, Cerundolo broke it when they played in Queens. I think he broke like 6 or 7 times.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying it's always hard to back a guy who like is like I said, like Baez may as well not even serve and may as well just like feed and play third ball in. Like and play games to like 4. Like
It's true.
um
I just think 4.5 is a lot when like I feel like Baez can steal a set here if like what's a set and a half line actually? That might be actually the better play. You know what? That's the better play. Baez plus 1.5 sets at plus 125.
I don't know, man. Like Baez competes and like what is Paul over 12 and a half? Actually, I don't like that at all. Scrap that.
Minus 120.
Like
Mm.
I don't know. I think there's like Baez competes. I man, like I mean, I'm really tempted to go Baez money line here too. Like, there's just such a chance Paul does like Baez. I'm pretty sure Baez is going to show up. I'm not completely sure Paul will.
Right. So that's baked into the handicap. the fact that we don't know if Paul's going to show up.
Yeah, but I kind of like. I mean, that kind of makes me like the money lines. Like if Paul doesn't show up, there's an opportunity there for me to go to hit a plus 375.
I don't mind it either. To be
What?
honest, I don't mind it either.
I think this is. I'm probably gonna end up splitting my unit somehow, but like, or maybe I'll even go one unit on each and go double unit. Like this
Are
to
you
me is
willing
all
to go 2 units
bias.
on the game spread as a play of the day?
What?
Are you willing to go 2 units on the game spread and do play of the day?
You like Baez versus Paul is a better play of the day
Then Zhang, and I slightly prefer Zhang
I
against
prefer
this.
Zhang as well.
Okay, all right, but this is, I mean, we're definitely backing each other. I might do half a unit on the money line too.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what my favorite play is here, but I'm somehow gonna back Baez.
Okay, okay, I like it. I like it. All right, so that does it for Eastbourne. Let's transition over to Mallorca.
Oh, the
All right.
Wimbledon draw is out.
No, I thought it comes out Thursday. Oh, shit. Is it out? Holy crap.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Bashman is seated 22nd.
No, this was
He wants to-
last year's. This was last year's
I
draw.
was, I know. I was teasing you. I was hoping you'd fall for it. I was teasing you.
Oh, I did fall for it.
You didn't fall for it, but I was wondering how long you'd be excited about it being out before I could be like, man, before I could.
Yeah, this is last year's draw. It's only Tuesday. So, yeah. I was like, I don't see any Russian flags.
They made a last second ruling to kick all the Russians out again. They denied all the visas. You heard that that's what the Ukrainians, the Ukrainian WTA players were asking for that.
Really?
To deny all the Russian players their visas so they wouldn't be able to play.
Oh my God. It's getting overboard. It's ridiculous. It's just like
Anyways,
these players are not like related to Vladimir Putin, and like they've said that time and time again that they're for peace. Like I don't really
yeah.
understand it, but all right, let's move on to Mallorca, Rafa Nadal's hometown.
Super hot, man. That's the thing. The thing here that it's been a really hot tournament. So like tournaments like temperatures are like near the 90s, aren't they? If
Yep.
not in the
Yep.
90s.
90s. So Klaus Fullegard made a very interesting point, and he's like, I don't know if you saw that tweet, but he was like,
About the surface? Oh, 100%.
yeah.
So a little more background here. This is the Mallorca Country Club. Mallorca Country Club has grass, clay, and hard. And I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I heard that these grass courts, like Wimbledon put an investment into this event like 3 years ago for them to actually host it here. And they built the grass courts over clay courts.
Wow. Okay, I did not know that.
I think. So like, and it would make sense because if you look at who's been doing well, it's been kind of a mix of like grass guys and like slower. Like if you look at who's been doing well so far this week, it's been like some slower court guys. Like Hodgman, right?
So is the clay just like very hard? Is the grass like very hard?
Oh,
Hardy?
it's also Spanish grass, like a different kind of grass.
Yeah, it's a little bit darker, I feel like.
And it's like a little harder.
Yeah. Huh.
So I think it's like more like a little bouncier of a grass court.
So I feel like playing in like Germany and Spain for your preparation for Wimbledon is like not as good as like playing Queens and Eastbourne.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It's
I
like
agree with that.
I don't know. But yeah, it's strange. And then I'm sure the heat dries out the grass even more, so it gets even harder.
Yeah.
So it's good essentially playing like a hard court.
Or maybe even a clay court. Like bound, I mean, not quite. Hey, look, it still is grass, right? Let's not get overboard. It still is grass, but like,
Yeah.
In terms of tournament news so far, Hoffman winning is kind of cool. I just like Hoffman as a player. Lopez, man, Lopez won. The career continues.
Feli Lopez, man.
Yeah. Herself was so bad today, man.
He was bad.
That was like, and I'm not accusing it. I don't accuse players of this because I just don't know. But like, if he was trying to lose the match, that's how you would play the second set. Like it was that bad tech. Like why against like Lopez, who's like 90 years old, and like he only has 2 sets in him. Like, why are you serving and volleying, like willingly shortening the point? Like, if anything, you should be like moonballing and making him hit more balls.
And it's 90 degrees on top of it.
Yeah, like make Lopez play like as many balls as possible. He's gonna gas out.
Right.
Like, I think Purcell just like, I think it was like I just want to like get this match over with, and like I don't really want to be here anymore. Plus like I can also see how like playing Lopez is really annoying because it's so many quick points. Like I don't know, it's just like no rhythm, no rhythm, no rhythm. So,
but he potentiated that problem for him, right? Like
Lopez,
that's Lopez's goal. He wanted to disrupt Purcell's rhythm. That was his tactic.
And Lopez wants to get off the court as quickly as possible.
Right, exactly.
Like,
it's horrible. Like the fact that we didn't hit the over there was just so demoralizing.
Oh, I know, because it's so demoralizing because like we hit that to back Feely, and then like Feely wins in straights, and we're like, what were we doing? Like,
I know. I wish we just hit the Feli Lopez, but we didn't expect that kind of performance from Purcell.
Like, yeah, and like the problem was like the line I really wanted to hit here was Feely plus a set and a half, and then that was like minus 155. So I was like, don't.
I actually also last minute I hit Purcell 2-1 because I thought Feli might win a set, but then gas out.
Yeah,
but it was just.
But it's hard to gas out when your opponent doesn't let you gas out.
Exactly, right. But that being said, I'm happy for him. I mean, prolong his career for one more match. I'm pretty sure it's going to be just one more match because Jordan Thompson is actually a formidable grass court opponent. So, didn't you have the Gasquet money line in that?
I did. Based more on like Gasquet being, I had that and I had Gasquet futures. Mostly like, I don't think there's that much of a gap between these guys. And like Gasquet is such a pro, but not.
Yeah, I think the heat also wasn't great. I mean, that match may have been later in the day, but still was kind of hot.
I mean, I Gasquet was 7-1 to win the quarter. So like, okay. I don't know. I thought like, basically I thought like he was a coin flip against Tsitsipas at this point. I thought Thompson here was going to be the toughest match actually for Gasquet.
Okay, I could see
maybe
that.
Not. I mean, Tsitsipas should still honestly like Tsitsipas should win this event.
He really should.
It's so funny. Apparently, they've been like pushing him hard as the poster boy for this event, just because they have nobody else. Like, if you look, the second seed here was Fokina. Like, can you imagine this? Can you imagine this event if Tsitsipas didn't take a wild card? Like, why even have this event?
I know.
Like, really, do we really want to have an event where Manarino is the third seed and Fokina is the top seed of the event?
It's bad, yeah. But there's no way I'm backing Tsitsipas here. He's just been so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, right now I just placed, I have like a quarters parlay going, and Hoffman is one of my legs at plus 700 to win this quarter.
I don't hate it.
So
I mean, the only reason I don't like it is because I think that, when did you get the plus 700 on him?
Today.
I don't love that. Like, the reason I don't love it is because I think you're better off just like backing him money line both times. Because like I think he's plus 350 or something against Steph, isn't he?
No, it's like plus 250.
Oh, okay, then it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
so we'll get into more Tsitsipas Hoffman later.
Manarino beat Pella after losing the first set. I didn't realize Pella was this good on grass. I also still don't know if Pella is this good on grass or if
he made quarters of Wimbledon in 21 and he lost to Berrettini, I think. So he is decent on grass.
I did not realize that, so that was my bad. I didn't hit the Manarino line today. I stayed completely away.
I played the -4.
Called the trainer. I read somewhere like 3 or 4 times.
I know. Well, it's just like Pela hasn't played, right? So it's like Giron is very mentally weak. And that was like whoever hit Pela against Giron, like that's fantastic. Like I think you got him at like plus 375, which was crazy. But like today against Mannarino, I thought Mannarino would just like be able to put him in uncomfortable positions and just like basically outguile him against a guy who just hasn't played much. But it ended up being way tougher. And like that second set, Pela could have easily won.
Wasn't Pela up a break?
He was. And then Mannarino broke back. And then it was 5-all in the tiebreak. Mannarino had he was returning at 5-all, and he hit a return that hit the back of the line. And that made it 6-5, and then he won that point, and then he kind of pulled away in the third.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was really close. Really, really close match.
I bet Baena both of those first 2 rounds on grass. I won one and I lost one. Overall, I made money because he's a big underdog in both.
Mm-hmm.
He was like plus 200 roughly for both 181, 220, or something like that. But like, yeah, I hit him twice as an underdog on grass, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Because like, you would never think to hit RCB, but
he was a 4.5 game underdog against Ivashka. I mean, like really?
Yeah.
I was scared after the second set, but still, 4.5 is a lot against someone who's in bad form. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Mute, he just pisses me off.
I know, man. I know.
I don't know. I just can't stand him.
He's so hard to bet because he's such a clown, but then like he's actually pretty talented.
He is. But he struts around like he's won 23 majors.
Yeah. Well, he has. Like in his mind, he's won a solid like 23, majors. he's won. I mean, like every match is kind of like a major, right? Like, it's all depends on how you think of the world.
That's true. But
him first round US Open matches are majors.
He did a rap album with Shapovalov.
Oh God! Oh,
and it's the most atrocious hip hop you'll ever hear in your life.
I need to hear this.
You didn't even hear it? I think it's on Spotify somewhere.
I'm gonna find this and listen to
it. Well, put in your plugs because you're gonna need it. It was terrible. I mean, they basically hip hop just like they play tennis, especially Shapovalov. Every note is
so there's good lines that are okay. There's some bars that are okay, and there's some bars that are just a disaster.
yeah, maybe a few bars that are okay, but like most bars are out of tune, just like the way he hits the ball out of the court. So I'll find the link after the pod, but like they did have a rap album, which is like just weird.
But did it reference tennis stuff all the time?
I don't think so. I don't know. I think Mutate rapped in French. Maybe they both did, actually.
Okay.
Is Chapeau, I think it's from, I don't know if he's from the French part of Canada, but all right, that's enough hip hop talk. The bottom half of the draw, you got.
I was so disappointed that ARV couldn't steal a set versus Rinderneck.
No, man. You what was your bet there? ARV money line?
ARV to get a set at plus 115.
It's always so painful when you lose that on tie breaks.
It's just painful to bet ARV in general. Like it's always pain. Like it's like he's actually worse than Bublik.
He is. He is painful.
Because like Bublik clowns, and so it's like okay, Bublik's just gonna clown this. Like ARV actually tries, and just like he just can't he can never get over the hump.
That is painful, man. So I don't know why you would bet ARV matches on grass. Like I bet more than you, and I just like totally stayed away there. I had no idea.
It was more of an anti-Rinderneck bet against a guy who is like going to compete, right? The funny part of it was I was like, I want to bet ARV, but I don't want to bet him to win the match because there's issues because we all know the problems that ARV has closing matches. So I was debating between ARV to win a set and ARV to go over 10 games. And I was like, oh, and I was also thinking about the over. And I was like, but the over is 22.5. Like ARV plays so many short short sets.
Yeah.
Oh, over 10 for ARV. Like 10 games is a lot if he doesn't win a set. Like I'll just take the set at plus money. Ends up being he wins 12 games and doesn't win a set. Just it's depressing.
So bad, man. It's so bad. Yeah. Lestien, that was a surprising win against Kubler because I was actually debating on whether or not to bet Kubler to win the quarter. Luckily, I ended up backing off. Actually, maybe I didn't. I don't remember. Oh, I bet Kubler to win the title, which is even
Okay.
worse at 16-1. But yeah, Lestien came out on top there. Eubanks beat Mickelson in 3 tight sets, and he'll play Ben Shelton, which is an interesting
Yeah,
match.
I had Eubanks minus 2.5 there, so that got there.
Okay,
Um,
got there. Yeah.
I mean, it was he got 2 breaks, and right, he got 2 more breaks than Mickelson, so I didn't feel like terrible about it.
Yeah, yeah, it's an interesting match tomorrow there.
Yeah, very
Um,
interesting. I think it's like
hmm?
in terms of like fun matches I want to watch, because I'm still not feeling well, so I'll probably end up working remote tomorrow too. Like I'll
Mhm.
probably watch that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's going to be fun. Shelton is entertaining,
And
and
Eubanks is actually kind of entertaining, also like personality wise, not so much, but like his tennis is actually pretty entertaining.
yeah, yeah. Last quarter we got Lloyd Harris, who's kind of making a slight
Lloyd,
resurgence.
Lloyd.
Uh, beat Roman Safulin. I thought that was one of my better bets of the day to bet him at, I think it was plus 110.
Yeah, I wasn't on that at all.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. Safulin is pretty erratic, to be honest. And I thought like Lloyd Harris is just like the better grass court player, a
I
better serve.
agree, but it was like, yeah, I agree, and he was even money. I don't know, yeah, I probably shouldn't
Yeah.
hit it.
Yeah.
I stayed completely off of Fokina. So I'm pumped to see him go out because so I think I called it out like on either the Discord or I think I called it out in the Discord like Fokina the last 2 years retired from this event in the first round.
That was a very interesting call. I did not realize that before I saw that.
Like I just don't think that like and I'm not like I don't know, man. I'm not convinced once that match got deep in the third set that Fokina really like I'm not saying he tanked it. I'm saying it was more of like a hey, I'm ready to get out of here. Like once he got deep into the third set, like I don't need to win a 2 hour match, 2.5 hour match, and then come out and play Lloyd Harris tomorrow. Like, how does that benefit me, right? Like, because I just thought he played, or maybe it was just Folky brain. Like, you never know with Folky because he's so like he just goes into Folky brain, but like
Well, he played a fantastic first set, and then he just decided to just play like shit. I mean,
that's
just
my point.
it's
That's why I'm
so
saying like
weird.
I don't think it was like a, hey, I'm gonna come out and like win this match. I think it was more of like a or lose this match. I think it was more of like a once I got deep in the third set, like because like that or maybe it's just Folky brain. Like you never know, but
I
like
think it's
that
funky
game
brain.
from Love 40 at 5-4 in the last game was terrible from Fokina.
Oh, he played pretty well. Actually, Koto played terrible the first 3 points, and then Fogi played horrible the last 5 points.
Yeah.
It
But
was
legit, like if you were trying to lose and trying to make it not obvious, like that's how you would play the last 5 points. Like miss one or two returns, and then the other returns just like lazily hit back in the court. You know, miss like the first or second ball of every rally. Like nobody's gonna blame you. Like
I mean, this match to me also proved that the best bet to play with Foki is the over 12.5. And that
well,
I did not hit it, but
actually that would
that's
have missed. No, it
uh
would have gotten there. My bad. It would have
it
gotten
would
there.
have got there 6-3-4, 6-3-4.
13. Yeah, 13. You're right. It would have gotten there.
Yeah, so I mean that just shows because like I don't know, like he could lose the match, but he's gonna compete. There was some beef in this match. Like the handshake was like not polite.
Yeah, I saw that. There was some conversation. I didn't hear the conversation, but
There
there's some
was me
conversation.
neither. But I don't know. I think Fokino was playing to win that match. I don't think like I think it was just Foki brain.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's so hard because like, he goes Folky so often. Like,
Oh, I know. All right, well, let's preview
what do you have here in terms of futures?
futures. I have still alive. Let's see. I got Hoffman to win the quarter at plus 600. Now it's plus 700 for some reason.
Nice.
I got Shelton to win the event at 14-1. Oh, Monterino. I'm heavy on Monterino. I had Monterino at even money to win the quarter because I just saw no one in that quarter to win. Like Pela,
Yeah.
Giron, Boutte, O'Connell, Carballes Baena and Ivashka, like I'm like, who the hell is going to beat Manarino?
Like even though he's been like slightly hurt and he's old, like he's just so much better than anybody else in that quarter.
Exactly. So,
Yeah,
um,
I had the Manarino at even money. I had Manarino to win. I have Manarino to win the event at 650.
mhm,
I've got Shelton at
mhm.
260 to win the quarter, and I've got
Okay.
Shelton to win the event at 14.
All right, so we both have that. We both have Shelton.
Why people aren't more excited about Shelton to win this event? Like it just like I don't know. I feel like Shelton could use a nice little 250 to his resume, and like his
Well,
game's
there's no reason for him not to be motivated here.
what?
There's no reason for him not to be motivated.
Yeah, and he's like, I get it, he's inexperienced, but like this draw is just not a great draw.
Well, I also think we placed that before the tournament, and I think we got better value given that Bublik was in this quarter before Rinderknecht took the spot.
True. But like the thing is, like, there was no chance. Like, the only reason Bublik was gonna come out was to practice cricket or baseball or some other sport. Like he was not gonna come out here and play tennis. Like, or maybe he's gonna practice like his jokes or like practice rock, paper, scissors. Like there's a lot of like that's why I'm disappointed he didn't play the event. Like there's a lot of like that's 2 hours of wasted time you could have gotten in practicing like some life skills. And like, what do you think he's gonna be doing at home during this event? Nothing.
It's true. I mean, that's what we say, right? But that's not what the books think. And the
Yeah.
books are just basing it off the Halle win, right? So
Yeah.
I think the price, like if the price would probably be 10-1 after Rinderknecht took the spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that was my rationale because I was like 80% sure Bublik would not show up.
Yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, I agree with you. There was no way Bublik was going to show up. Like I
Right.
said, yeah, yeah. And
So
Bublik is enough of a clown that even if he did, I wasn't going to trust him to actually try. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
all right,
I have
any
like a
futures for
fun
this event? Like any updated futures? What is Tsitsipas to win the event now? Now that Foki's out,
uh it's Eastbourne,
Mallorca.
Mallorca. Tsitsipas is plus 200 to win the event. Monarino plus 450. Thompson plus 600. Shelton plus 700. Harris plus 700. These are really bad odds.
But I get why they all would have collapsed, right? Because like Foki was the guy in that bottom half.
I know.
It's kind of sad that Lopez is last, and I don't know if it's deserved. Like I guess it's just that he like there's no way he's playing 4 days in a row and winning 4 matches 4 days in a row. That's the problem.
But really, you give Kotov that much bigger chance to win than Lopez?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
And I'm not saying Kotov's a good bet at 16-1, but yeah, like at least like Kotov is like like I'm not convinced Lopez can play 4 days of tennis in a row at this point.
yeah, no, you're probably right. And plus, he has a tough draw. You would have to play Thompson then Tsitsipas.
Because
It's tough. So,
and I think like yeah.
but Hoffman at plus 700 to win this quarter. I like that. When you're playing Tsitsipas the first match, I think that's actually better. That's more beneficial to him. Like, I think Hoffman's chances of beating Tsitsipas in the first match are better than if he played him in the quarters.
I don't hate it on an overall basis. I think I'm gonna be more conservative and just play Hoffman money lines.
Okay. Okay. Fair. And then third quarter, I mean, the second quarter, I think because they're one round behind. Shelton plus 150, Rinderknecht plus 175, Eubanks plus 375, and Lestien plus 550.
Yeah, I love Shelton here, man. Like I think Eubanks is a surprisingly tricky match. I mean, actually, honestly, I kind of like Eubanks. Like I don't think he'll beat Shelton, but really like is like Rinderknecht's being way overvalued here, I think, because of the match against Alcaraz.
I agree. I agree with that.
Like if you look at his other results, they're not good.
Yeah. Yeah. The John on the MP9 podcast pointed this out too. And he's just like, Rinderknecht is totally overvalued because of that Alcaraz match.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, what about Lestienne? Because Lestienne plays Rinderknecht in the round of 16.
I know, but like my issue there is
And Shelton and Eubanks are erratic. And like Lestienne, if he can like slice and dice his way through a couple sets, who knows?
yeah, man, honestly, like Brandon Eck is so overvalued. You could almost put like money on everybody else and just do Sheldon's probably a little overvalued here too at this point, just because of the line. It's like I think he'll do it. I think he'll get there, but it's so short now.
It's short. It is.
Like, and it's insane. Like, why did this get so much shorter? Like, I guess well, because Bublik's out. That's the reason. But like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think the Eubanks and Lestienne here are kind of, but like, it maybe not. I don't know. I go back and forth. Like,
Shelton hasn't played yet here. And then like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just gonna hold on to my futures like for him to win the event.
yeah,
I don't think there's any value in doubling down here on Shelton.
no, definitely not.
Yeah. All right, let's go to individual matches here. So Rinderknecht and Lestienne. Rinderknecht is 2.5 game favorite, minus 195, and the over under is 23. Do you have a play here?
Um, I think I like Lestienne at plus 160, man. Like, I just like this is a fade on Rinderknecht. And like, do I think Lestienne's good? No, but like, do I see a huge gap between these guys? Not really. Like,
Which is
I
why
don't
I
know,
like
man.
the
If
over.
Rinderknecht didn't play that match against Alcaraz, I think this is close to a pick.
Probably.
Like,
My play here is
really
the
hard
over.
time differentiating between these two. I think they're both like, you know.
Yeah, my play here is the over 23.
Let me look at some stuff real quick here. Like, because the only problem is like what makes you say the over as opposed to the 3 set line?
I mean, I could see a couple tie breaks here.
Man, so there's 8 matches, last 52 weeks on grass. Rinderknecht's return points 1%. Last 52 weeks on grass.
Got to be like 20%, 15%.
Points one, that's insane. That means that every game he gets held to 11 or 15.
Wait,
It's 29.
29.
It's still 29 is terrible.
I knew it was low.
Yeah, it's low. Like it's the point is it's bad. So yeah. But he's just played poorly. Like he's just man, like
Well, yeah, Rinderknecht 7-6, 7-6 against Ramos Vinolas on grass. I mean, that's not good. Losing to Shelby and being a lucky loser here, not good. 3 sets against Rudolph Moliker.
yeah, like pulling pianos. I'm gonna give you I'm gonna duel you with Lestienne's results. So beat Kubler after Kubler won a challenger title and played a ton of tennis, at least in 1 week, if not 2.
Uh-huh.
I guess just 1 week because he went out early in Bosch. But
Billy.
after Kubler, so beat Kubler, day or two after Kubler won a title in 3 sets. Lost to Billy Harris. I'm not even sure who that is. I guess it's some like British guy. British. Yeah, it's a British, some 28-year-old British guy who's like, I don't know. I don't even know what he's doing. He's ranked 352 in the world.
Yeah, not good.
Lost to Shang on grass. Don't love that. Like Shang's so inexperienced. You shouldn't lose to Shang on grass.
Yeah.
Lost to Zizou Bergs on grass. Beat Kudla, which is like
That's a good one. That's a good win.
And beat Daniel Cox in 3 sets, who's ranked 365 in the world.
Not good.
So like, there's nothing here.
And then lost 6 matches on clay in a row. Or
Yeah.
no, well, yeah, Indian Wells, but yeah, lost every match on clay. So yeah, it's not great. But Arthur Rinderknecht is losing to Rudolph Giuliani.
Yeah, it's not like
It's not great. Well, no, going to three sets,
it's a
but
matchup of two guys who I'd love to fade. Like Lestien's game, like theoretically is good on grass, but again, like the results just don't show any success so far. Um, I don't know, man. It's like I'm prepared for an ugly match, and I think like, but I'll take the Lestien money line. But I don't hate like the over. If you want to be a little more conservative, I don't hate the over. Actually, yeah, I don't hate the over as a play either. Like, I don't know.
I mean, it's going
I
to be
think
some tight sets. I don't know. These guys are playing 7-6, 7-6, a lot of 6-4s I see here. It's going to be
well, it's
some
23 and a half is the over, right?
23 even.
23. So you push on a 6 and 4.
Yeah. Ugh. I don't know. I'm not super confident in it, but
I'm
that's
playing the Leshen money line as a price play, but it's like really low confidence. Like I'm not. I would if I was somebody who altered my units betting, I would not be doing this as a max bet.
okay. Okay. Eubanks and Shelton here, a match that you seem quite interested in. Uh,
Very interested in it.
I don't have a play here. I'm interested to see what your take is here.
I mean, I'm really interested in the match from a watching perspective. Um, what is the 3 set here?
Plus 125. It's not good.
Yeah. What is Eubanks 2-1?
Plus 420.
If you want to take a dog bomb play, I think that's kind of interesting here. Like, what is Shelton's record in third sets? It's not good. It's not as bad as I thought. It's 12. Well, since he really started playing on the main tour, his record in 3 setters is let's count that. Is like 2-11, and it's like 1-9 in the past year. Like if you look at his 3 sets of 3,
Mm-hmm.
it's not good, and it kind of makes sense. Like he's hitting so he hits so big, like every ball from his max effort, right?
Yeah.
And like that's kind of a problem, especially when you're a younger kid and you haven't completely developed yet, like physically.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't know,
kind of
man.
one-dimensional. Like if it, he can go through spells where he makes a shit ton of errors.
Right. And the problem is, I can say the exact same thing about Eubanks.
Exactly.
With the exception of Eubanks is a little more experienced,
So
which makes me say like,
they did play end of last year, and Shelton beat Eubanks in a third set tiebreak in a challenger final.
yeah,
So I don't know. This match is so close that it's hard for me to pick. And since I think it's close, I guess that says pick the Eubanks money line, but it's just like, I don't know, man.
you know what? My plus 145. That's like,
I actually prefer the +2 here. Like, I think if I was playing anything, I would play the Eubanks +2 because that hedges for the 7-6, 7-6, which I think is very, very possible here.
yeah.
Like this is my second leg of that
7-6 is very
over 12.
possible here. I mean, look, like just read the line. Like the over 10 is minus 150.
It's crazy.
Like that's insane.
It is.
That's basically telling you there's going to be a tie break in the first
Yeah,
set.
I think over 12 and a half was like plus 170, which is just like insane. Like you never see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
But I think it's so likely here.
yeah, I don't.
But yeah. All right, next match. Tsitsipas and Hoffman. So
Yeah,
I'm all over
against
Tsitsipas fate.
425. Like I think in a match like that, I think I like something that's big plus money. So
In a
I'm gonna go
match,
to Eubanks 2-1.
Eubanks 2-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um Here, I like the Hoffman money one.
Me too.
Like it's
I
pretty
like three plays.
like
I like Hoffman money line. I like Hoffman. I like the over 22.5 here as well. I also like the over on the first set over here. I really like that. This is my third leg of the over 12.5. So it's Eubanks, um, Shelton, Tsitsipas, Hoffman, and then it's that one match in the other tournament. I think it was
I like it here too. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I think this is a great spot for the over dog combo.
Mm-hmm.
Like split your unit half on the over 22.5, half on the plus 300.
I also like the Hoffman 2-1 at plus 700.
Yeah, I like it. It's such long odds.
I mean, how can you not like it? Because like if you think Hoffman is going to win, money
Actually,
line,
this is
chances
ridiculous, right? Hoffman is 300, right?
300 to win, right? But in three
Yeah.
sets plus 700. I think it's better to take the 2-1 at 700.
Well, you can get 2-1 at you can get 2-0 at 600.
So
I
just
mean, I'm
take
thinking about this
do half a unit on both.
I think there's actually a way you can play that. I think that's better than the money line.
Yeah.
Go yeah. I mean, it's not quite as good if you go half a unit on both because then you would make 3 units if he wins 2-1 and 2.5 he wins 2-0. So that's not good for you. But there might be some combination of units you can go. Maybe not. It might be. I don't know. It's.
I prefer the 2-1 at plus 700.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Um,
Yeah, but I'm
I like
definitely
Hoffman in some capacity. I think it just depends on
some
what you.
capacity. Yeah.
I think this plays really well for Hoffman. Like, given that a little bit of a fast because look, what does Hoffman do best? Like serve and hit big, right? Which plays
That's
great
exactly what
against
Tsitsipas hates.
what?
That's exactly what Tsitsipas hates.
Yeah,
You just go hard and heavy to the backhand, and he's going to miss or
yeah,
give you a really short ball.
yep.
It's a very, very clear game plan with Tsitsipas right now.
It is. I agree.
And it's just like, I don't know. I just like this matchup. I mean, this might be a play of the day candidate too, to be
What?
honest. To go over 22.5 as a uh play of the day for tomorrow. You want to do that in addition to the Zhang? Because
Sure.
I'm really confident that over 22.5 hitting.
Yeah, I mean, Tsitsipas has played a lot of over 22.5s lately, huh? Even when he's lost.
Well, yeah, just look at his results. I think 6 of the 8 sets that he's played in the grass court season have been tie breaks. One, two,
Five
three,
out of eight.
four.
No, four out of three.
So
4 out of eight.
yeah, 4 out of the 8 sets, and then 2 of those sets were 7-5, and one was 6-4.
And it makes sense. He's returned absolutely terrible this year on
He
grass.
has.
30% return points, 1%. Um, that's not ideal.
And it's not only like Barrera's a decent server and Yari's a great server, but like Gasquet is a below average server and he still returned like shit against him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
I
love that.
like,
I love that overplay.
yeah, I think the over is the play there, over 22.5.
Yeah, I mean it's great. All right, next match, Feli Lopez and Jordan Thompson. Thompson is a 3.5 game dog plus 400. Over under is 22.5. I might just stay away here and just root for Feliciano Lopez.
What is Thompson 2-0?
It's probably bad. Minus 170. That's a ton of juice.
Yeah, it's too much juice. I mean, it's probably plus EV, but I think this line is pretty well set. Like, because I don't see any. I mean, honestly,
You don't see Lopez like squeaking out a set here by any chance?
yeah, it's what plus 125.
Mm-hmm.
Not good enough at plus 125. Like, I don't think he does it the majority of the time. I think he
What's,
might be able to,
what's the
like, but
Lopez set one money line? Because I think that's
yeah, if
the
you're gonna play
set
it,
he
if
has.
I think there might be some validity in the set one money line at 260. I think that's the only way to play this match if you're gonna play it.
Because that's the only set he's going to win, right? So if he wins one, so I think that's way better than playing the plus 1.5 sets here.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only line here is this, but like the thing is like, oh, ew. Like
I think
I don't even love 260 here though, to be honest, as a price. Like,
I think I'm going to hit that. I think it's just good enough for me.
I'm not. I'm gonna stay off that.
All right, I'll hit
No,
that.
thank you.
All right, Adrian Monterino and Corentin Moutet. So I am a little bit concerned here about Monterino. Well, is this match? Oh, these are quarterfinals, so this match is tomorrow.
Yeah, we can talk through it quickly.
Okay, yeah, I was like if this match was tomorrow, I'd be tempted to back Moutet here because like Monterino played 3 physical sets in the heat.
Yeah.
But like the fact that this is on Friday, I guess it's all right.
I kind of still like Mutet plus 3.5 games here.
Interesting.
Like Manarino's a better player, I get it, but like between the injury concerns, like
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I hear you. I think I'm just gonna lay off and just like back my futures play here. Or maybe play Mutet to win a set at minus 120.
Yeah.
That's probably the best player, I think.
Well, wait, so the odds it's the 1.5 sets and the 3.5 games are basically the same odds. 3.5
Yeah.
games is a little better odds. Like I don't know, man. I don't really see Manarino winning sets. Well, it's Mutet. He could just clown away a set for no reason.
Yeah, but we both have futures on Manarino, so I might just like lay off and just root for Manarino.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
get it. I'll
Yeah.
probably back Mutet in some way. I think that this is
You think
I think
there's
it's a
value
little
in
bit
that?
long given the injury potential concerns for Manarino.
Okay. Lloyd Harris and Pavel Kotov. Harris is 2.5 game favorite, minus 215. Over under is 24. I might lay games here with Harris.
I don't know, man. This is such a tough. Like I think this is a tough one. Like
But like before this, Kotov has not won a match on grass. He shouldn't have
I
even been in the
know, and
tournament. He
I'm not
lost
really
in heat
impressed by
two.
his wins.
I don't know. This is so tough. Um, Luckily we have a day to think about this.
I don't even know if a day. I could have a day to think about it. I don't think it would help me. Like no, I mean like I don't know. It's like I'm looking at Harris. Like yeah, he's won 5 in a row, but he's beaten Vesely, Mickelson, Zapata, Safulin, or sorry, 4 in a row. But those are the guys: Vesely, Mickelson, Bernabe, and Safulin. Like, what is Lloyd Harris over 12.5? Is that up yet?
Minus 170.
Yeah, screw that.
That's so bad. The grass court over 12.5s are just atrocious, man. They're
Yeah.
so bad. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Sounds good. So, let's what about Wimbledon qualies? Anything of note? So
Uh,
I have a few plays here for tomorrow. Not too many, but I listened to the match point nine guys. I thought they made some excellent points here. Didn't tail them on all of them, obviously, but some of them I did. Uh,
yeah.
I like, just pull it up. So I have Hamad Medvedev money line against Berankis at minus 130. So Medvedev, he destroyed. Let me see. He destroyed Pedro Martinez, which is not saying much. Love and one, but he has like a big game, big forehand. Uh,
Yeah.
and I think like his game suits grass, and I just think like minus 130 is too short against Berankis. I have Kovacevic even money against Jesper de Jong. I think Kovacevic's game just suits grass, to be honest. Just from like an eye test.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like righty plus 125 against Oscar Ote.
I like righty as well, man. I think that's a play I like.
Righty had a good win in the first round. He beat Kogonakis in straight sets. And Ote is just so bad. Like once the serve comes back, he has nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I agree. And righty, righty's been decent. I didn't realize Hyun Chung was back and playing again.
Yeah, he is. He is.
He's up against Enzo, and Enzo is a big favorite. But I mean, has Chung done anything recently? Has he even been playing?
Let me see.
Hardly. He's been looking awful.
Who? Chung?
Chung, Hyun Chung.
Yeah. It's really a sad career that
I was
he's.
gonna say pure sadness. The injuries completely derailed him.
I know. I mean, since beating like Djokovic and making a semifinal of the Australian Open, like it's just
What
rough.
about G's Brower up against Rodionov? Like Brower's got that nice wide lefty serve,
But terrible movement. That's his problem.
but like he should like Grass should be his surface. He's a Dutch dude. I thought Grass was a surface, wasn't it?
Should be.
Like he was decent last year on grass. He won some matches last year on grass.
Cheese Brower.
Yeah.
Who does he play again?
He plays Rodionov. And Rodionov's the 3-game favorite. Like I was thinking of maybe taking the 3 games with Brower.
That's interesting. I would just take the money line.
200?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Um
I also like
Rinky is only a 3.5-game favorite against Vera. I get it. Vera has a bigger game and Rinky's underpowered, but that's like every day for Rinky.
it's not bad. I think it's the right line though. Three and a
Yeah.
half on grass is a lot.
And I understand that. It's just like I hear that, but like, does Vera play any grass? I guess he won a match to get to this point, but like, I don't know. I just feel like the surface matters. Like, I'd rather do that than bet the massive money line. But I think 3.5 games, like, and for Rinky, he's not gonna. Although he's done like, I don't know. It's hard to judge. Like,
Well, Barrios Vera has not played a single grass court match.
Well, he must have played one in the qualies.
Oh yeah, that's true. They
Just
didn't.
round two. But yeah, I mean, but he doesn't, right? Like that's the thing. These guys play like these guys don't like half these guys don't really care about grass. Like
It's an interesting play. I don't know. Who did Barrios Vera beat in the first round? Donskoy.
ew. I don't know if Donsko is still playing.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, I don't
It's
know.
kind of fun to see these qualies because like so many of these guys, like my reaction is like, oh, he still plays tennis. Like
I
I'm
know. I know.
tired. Like these guys like sneaky grind the challenger tournament can't get into anything, once they're like 150, 200 in the world. Like
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping to get a better line on Kudla against Wu, but just like 4 games is just so much. Like, I'm not gonna play that.
yeah.
Um,
Did Del Bonus play?
Del Bono. No, he's playing Clay Challengers this week.
Instead of can you not even get into qualies anymore for Wimbledon?
No, I just think he just decided to play Clay Challenger.
That's so funny. Like that's when you know you're done. Is when you're like,
Yeah. I was watching it at work because that was the only tennis that was on. So I was like, oh, let me throw on some Del Bonus.
that's funny.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
so
another
sad,
play
man.
I
Because it was
have
really
the
that
match
you and I
point.
were watching him, and he was like seeded in an ATP tournament against Kyrgios.
I know. I
It was
know.
like a Masters. He was like seeded in a Masters or something.
Crazy. Yeah. And then my last play, I'm gonna tail the MP9 guys on this. I love Elias Ymer against Marazon at plus 120
Oh,
here.
me too. Me too.
I mean, that's a fantastic play. I just think Marazon is just so overvalued considering he beat Alcaraz. Like,
Yeah, he has game, but I think he's overvalued after beating Alcaraz. I agree with that statement.
totally, totally. So
Yeah, we got
yeah.
a nice little set there of plays.
I
I
don't
think.
mind Twee minus 140, but like, I don't know. Like Seppi
Yeah, I'm
has
gonna
some
stay off
game. I'm
that,
gonna
man.
stay with it.
Like
It's like,
this isn't the French, right? He's not gonna get a crowd to back him. Like
right, exactly. I actually
you
don't
know,
mind.
I'll look through the rest of these matches, but looking at it, like that's what catches my eye at first glance.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much here, but like,
Dragos, I kind of want to bet Dragos Madaras just because his first name is Dragos. He's a 3.5 game dog against Mo.
I would stay away. I like Show maybe minus 2.5 against Toby Samuel. That actually caught my eye a little bit.
Yeah, I don't disagree. The MP9 guys called out Duckworth against Mayo. That might not be terrible.
But you have to lay juice, right?
Minus 140.
It's too much juice for qualies. I don't like laying juice on these matches, which are like there's a lot of randomness to this, you know. How about Lamas Ruiz plus 3.5 against Puros? I don't mind that either. I don't think I would play the money line here, but I
Why
like the
not?
half. Aren't these guys are both clay guys, right?
Yeah.
But what suggests that one is better than the other?
I mean, Pyros is a much better. Isn't Pyros ranked like 400? I mean, not you get not the ranking is the end all be all, but like, isn't Pyros ranked like quite a bit higher? Pyros is definitely the more well known prospect.
Lamas Ruiz is 182.
Pyros is 123.
But like Lamas Ruiz has actually kind of been climbing recently.
Yeah, although Pyros did make the Oakley Challenger semis last week.
Okay.
He also has a win over Charles Broom. I just saw some of these names, like Charles, like what a name, Charles Broom,
Charles Broom.
Lamas Ruiz.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from Llama.
Also, do you know any Spanish?
I do not.
So Llamas means your name
Oh, really?
or name, yeah. Like,
Oh.
or what are you called? Like to call or something. It's like, but like, como te llamas is like, what is your name? Like, what do you call like what do you call? So yeah, he's like
All
he's
right,
called Ruiz. His last name is called Ruiz.
that's
Pedro called Ruiz.
all right. That's when we know the pod has gone too much when we're talking Spanish and llamas and whatever. So
Yeah, guys.
yeah,
All
just
right,
to
so
read.
summarize, right?
Yeah, a little summary here. So
So going
our
back to
plays of the day tomorrow.
so I think our so going back to Eastbourne, I think our play of the day is the Zhang money line at plus 170 versus Cressy.
Uh-huh.
And then we also like Baez in some capacity versus Paul. Brad likes Wolf 2-0 at even money versus Van Ash. Manny likes the Cerundolo money line.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brad and Manny both like some sort of over in Barrera Yari, whether it be the first set over or the total over of 23.
You mentioned that was all Eastbourne, right?
That was all Eastbourne, yep.
Okay. Yeah, and you mentioned Baez plus 4.5, right? And
Well,
Baez,
Baez in some capacity, right? Like you like pick your
yeah,
favorite Baez line.
right. Okay, and then moving on to Mallorca, we both love playing Hoffman in any capacity. I think we both like the 2-1 and plus 700. We love the over 22.5, right?
Yep.
I like the Rinderknecht Lestien over, whereas you prefer the Lestien money line.
Yep.
Eubanks Shelton. I'm staying away. You like the Eubanks 2-1.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a pure price play. I don't have a ton of confidence it's going to happen. I think the price is decent.
Lopez Thompson. I'm playing the Lopez set one money line at plus 265. I think you're staying away totally, right?
Yeah, I'm going to lay off that completely.
Okay. And
I
then,
wish I could make a bet like Lopez to win more games in the first set than the second, but that's not available.
Monterino Mutet were well that those matches are Friday anyway, but I think I'm
Thursday,
gonna stay
but
away
yeah.
and go towards Monterino and Harris Kotov. We have no idea. So
But I think the key things to talk about are we both love Hoffman. And then really the other one we have confidence in is you have the over on the Rinderknecht Lestien. I'm seeing it up now to over 23, and I have Lestien money line there at 160.
So do you want to do two official plays tomorrow? The over on the Tsitsipas Hoffman and the Zhang money line?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, those are the two official plays tomorrow. So all right, very good. So I think this wraps it up for today's pod. We will be back later in the week. We will certainly do some grass court power rankings. And we will preview the Wimbledon draw as well as do
So
some.
we'll be back sometime over the weekend, probably once the Wimbledon draw comes out.
Probably. So probably like I would say Friday or Saturday, maybe Friday night.
Yeah.
So yeah, sounds good.
We'll announce it on the Twitter, guys.
Definitely. Definitely. All right. Have a great night. It was
Bye, guys.
fantastic as always. Talk to you later, guys. See ya.